You really can't roll anymore. Chapter 1493 Killing Order, Happy Holidays. Bailey Wenyuan said, changing to a higher level weapon to fight Ji Fang. Fang Qingran witnessed the entire process, felt slightly guilty, and had an inexplicable misunderstanding. The name of Bailey Wenyuan is so similar to that of 6th senior brother. Could it be related to 6th senior brother? Another name seems to be Jiafang. She remembered that God also existed in the Ji family. Could the two be related? As Fang Qingran thought about it, she realized that Bailey Wenyuan's moves were getting harder and harder. Ji Fang, who was still accepting the challenge, gradually became angry, and her attacks were not serious. Soon, both hands were stained, and the beatings became harder and harder. Master Fang, let's go quickly, they won't be in danger. Zhu Zhao reminded. These two look like the darlings of the family. If the fight is like this, the elders in the family will definitely come over. At that time, it was not certain whether Hongmeng Pearl was effective. After hearing this, Fang Qingran put away the command order, considering that this time she was venturing into the universe alone without a guide. She is still a proper outsider, so it is better to keep a low profile. As for the Bailey family, let's talk about it later. Fang Qingran took another look and made sure that no one would be killed, so she quickly left with Zhu Zhao. She left with her front legs, and two figures came through the void behind her. They glanced at each other first, then each of them grabbed one by the neck. Both sides smiled apologetically again. I'm sorry, it's our Ji family who didn't manage things well, don't blame me. Wen Yuan was reckless and turned the sparring match into a life and death battle. Ji Fang only felt embarrassed and remained silent. Bailey Wenyuan was very unconvinced, he was the one who violated the rules first, so he deserves to be beaten. Uncle Fang, let go of me. We haven't decided yet. Uncle Fang raised his hand and placed a restraint on Bailey Wenyuan. Bailey Wenyu became completely quiet. Uncle Fang smiled awkwardly, I'll take him back first. See you later. Wait a minute, the middle-aged man called to the other party, have you noticed that there are unnecessary fluctuations around here? Are they doing this because of other people's mistakes? There are not a few people who are eyeing the Ji family and Bailey family. If you can't attack the old guys, you will definitely focus on the younger ones. After this reminder, Fang Su became a little more serious. He sensed it and narrowed his eyes slightly. The other party is very profound and should be a peerless strong man. Fang Su let go of Bailey Wenyuan. Bailey Wenyuan asked with his eyes, what are you doing? Fang Su unlocked the ban on Bailey Wenyuan. Can you use your special ability to trace back and see who has been here before? Bailey Wenyuan has been exposed to various teachings since he was a child, so he is naturally very smart. He understood something immediately, closed his eyes, made a seal with his hands, formed a seal, and the scenes were changing in the sea of consciousness. But nothing was seen. Bailey Wenyuan was not sure, so he read it again and finally saw the problem. Uncle Fang, there was a power fluctuation there half a quarter of an hour ago, but it was only a power fluctuation, and the rest was gone. After hearing this, Fang Su and the man looked at each other, both of them wary. Bailey Wenyuan is far from clear. They know very well that there is a cosmic barrier. Now that the barrier of the universe is fluctuating, there must be an intrusion from outsiders. How did this outsider find this place and get in? Fang Su took Bailey Wenyuan back to Bailey's house in a hurry to report the situation. Fang Qingran did not rush into a realm and first observed the situation in the universe. This place is different from the heavens and the universe, and also different from Xuanchu. The heavens and the universe are connected to each other by continents, sharing a common consciousness. But here every world is independent. There are still many small worlds surrounded by lifeless energy and in danger of collapse. Fang Qingran could sense that there were great avenues in these worlds. There are so many avenues in one universe. Hong Mengshu said before that there can only be one avenue consciousness in a universe. If there are too many avenues, a consciousness of the main avenue will definitely arise. Without the consciousness of the main avenue, this universe will definitely experience chaos, resource depletion and other disasters. Fang Qingran had a bold guess. The reason why the main avenue does not appear here is probably because the origin of Hongmeng has not yet appeared. However, it is no accident that there are so many avenues in this universe. Master Fang, I sense the power of viewing, Zhu Zhao said. Go and have a look first. Anyway, there is no target for now. Fang Qingran passed through the barrier of the world and felt the death energy coming towards her face. She stood up in the sky, bent down and looked, the whole earth was devastated. Only a few creatures are still barely alive. Master Phoenix, there is an aura of the death curse. Do you want me to get out? The swallowing consciousness said. Fang Qingran released his devouring consciousness, be careful. Promise to complete the task quickly, Lord Phoenix, don't move yet, wait for me here. After finishing speaking, the devouring consciousness rushed out like an arrow from a string. It was the first time that Zhu Zhao envied a conscious body so much. Fang Qingran watched the swallowing consciousness leave, and she knew she had come to the right place. Death curse. I'm afraid there are fragments here. At this moment, two figures passed through the world barrier. One of the monks complained, what is there to check in this world of death? Outsiders will only come here unless they have a brain. Another echoed, that's right, I heard that after a Taoist friend came here before, he had a lot of bad luck when he returned, and finally almost died. I really don't want to come to such an abandoned place. HMPH, don't let me find that outsider, otherwise I will give him a lesson. Forget it, stop complaining. We have a magic weapon to protect ourselves this time. Let's take a symbolic look around. Now all the major forces have issued execution orders to outsiders, and they cannot escape even if they want to. Ellipsis. Fang Qingran watched the two ascetics leave, speechless. Could this outsider refer to her? She was discovered less than an hour after she entered the universe. A killing order. Not even seen. He issued an order to kill him. The ascetics here must hate outsiders very much. She will keep a low profile next. She originally wanted to investigate Bailey's family, but now she's afraid she won't be able to. The killing order was issued so quickly. The Bailey family must be powerful and not easy to mess with. If she were to investigate such a force, her existence would be exposed in a matter of minutes. Fang Qingran was glad that she did not put away the Hongmeng Pearl. Master Phoenix, if you swallow your consciousness to break the death curse, they won't find anything unusual, right? Zhu Zhao said worriedly. Shouldn't. Fang Qingran hadn't finished speaking yet. A voice sounded not far away. Something's not right here. Why do I feel that suffocation is slowly disappearing? Another voice said, in this collapsing world, the death energy will only become more and more serious. I don't feel anything abnormal for the time being. Then I still need to report my feelings. Of course I have to report it. As mentioned above, no matter what feeling you have, you can't let it go. We practice Taoism. Cultivating Taoism is the connection between heaven and earth. Fang Qingran watched the two ascetics leave, silently. Zhu Zhao fell into silence and didn't want to speak. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 1494 found the mark. Fang Qingran and Zhu Zhao were silent for a long time. Zhu Zhao finally said, Master Fang, it's okay. They just found an abnormality. Even if they send strong men over, they can't investigate anything. With the current strength of swallowing consciousness. As long as you really want to hide it, even it can't detect the devouring presence. Judging from the discussion of the two ascetics just now, the strong men in this universe are not in this world at all. There is no death curse found here either. None of them knew the existence of the death curse. As long as devouring consciousness quietly destroys the death curse, it will definitely not attract the attention of the powerful. Zhu Zhao, how about we find a place to hide? Fang Qingran asked. After being slapped in the face before, she felt it was better to be cautious now. Standing at the entrance to the world always made her feel unsafe. Zhu Zhao said, actually, Master Phoenix, don't worry. We have the Hongmeng Pearl. Even if a strong person comes, we won't be able to find it. Fang Qingran's eyes flashed slightly. Zhu Zhao, I'm not worried about this. I just feel that there is something strange about the cultivators in this universe. They actually believe in intuition so much. There are such ascetics. This shows that the inheritance of ascetics in this universe has always existed. Fang Qingran looked at the vast world below and decided to hide in the world. However, she had to choose a place far away from the death curse. In this way, when the devouring consciousness is discovered later, she can quickly recall the devouring consciousness and then escape quickly. Fang Qingran dodged and entered the world. The place where she landed was surrounded by ruins. Fang Qingran's eyes fell on a stone engraved with ancient inscriptions, and she never looked away. The ancient text on this stone is incomplete. But it felt familiar to her. Like the words of Kangshuan continent. Zhu Zhao noticed something strange about Fang Qingran, and felt the aura of sadness on her body. Zhu Zhao couldn't help but ask worriedly, Master Fang, what's wrong? Fang Qingran raised his hand, and the stone flew into his palm. These are like the words of Kangshuan continent, but the Kangshuan continent I remember is not like this. She still remembered the scene when she first entered Kangshuan continent. I just thought I was in a fairyland in a painting. Business is booming. Colorful. There was endless laughter and laughter. But now, everywhere you look, there are ruins, and the smell of death fills the entire world. Master Fang, didn't Kangshuan continent experience a war? It should have been destroyed at that time. Zhu Zhao said. Fang Qingran shook his head. Even after experiencing destruction, Kangshuan continent should not change from a parallel universe to a place where worlds are separated from each other. Kangshuan continent is the central continent of Kangshuan realm. There are no world barriers between the other continents and Kangshuan continent. There are only continental boundaries. In a sense, the Kangshuan realm is similar to the heavens and the universe. Kangshuan world can also be called Kangshuan universe. Kangshuan universe has no concept of ascension. The strength of each continent is not very different. The rules of a universe are determined at the beginning of creation and cannot be changed after their form. The place that has become a separate world in front of you is definitely not Kangshuan continent. Fang Qingran clenched the Hongmeng Pearl in her hand. She needed more rocks like this to determine something. But if she directly releases her consciousness to search for such stones, her aura will inevitably remain. It is also easy to attract the attention of ascetics. Zhu Zhao thought for a while and said seriously, Master Feng, there are things from Kangshuan continent here. It should be that the owner of this ruins has been to Kangshuan continent. It is common for the strong and the strong to give each other Yu Kyonggu. The weapon refiner can build the building in advance, place it in a specific space, and give it to the other party. After that, he only needs to find a suitable place and place it directly in the Yu Kyong Tower. When craftsmen create artifacts, they like to leave some unique marks of their own. Master Phoenix, when you went to Kangshuan continent before, did you see the weapon refiners there? Or did you get the weapons from somewhere? If there is, take it out and compare it, and you should be able to find more clues. After Zhu Zhao's analysis, Fang Qingran seemed to remember something. She raised her hand and the Nine Heavens Pagoda appeared. Ever since Zhu Zhao Pagoda swallowed the time bead, it has been sleeping. Fang Qingran turned the small tower upside down and looked at the marks on its bottom. The mark vaguely matches the remaining text on the stone. Fang Qingran immediately understood that this was something made by the Xuanyuan family. When she looked at the ruins again, her mood was different. The artifacts made by the Xuanyuan family are at least at the level of artifacts. If a powerful formation is added to this Yu Kyong Tower, it will definitely be able to defend itself against powerful attacks from all sides. So what kind of disaster has this world encountered? Zhu Zhao, do you think they hate outsiders so much because they have been invaded by outsiders? Fang Qingran asked in a deep voice. To be able to directly issue a killing order to outsiders, I'm afraid it's not just an invasion. The outsiders have definitely done something unforgivable, Zhu Zhao said. In a normal universe, if there is an outsider, they will definitely check it out first. But there was no investigation here, and the killing order was issued directly. It is enough to prove that they cannot tolerate any outsiders in their eyes. Few universes are so extreme. Rejecting outsiders will indeed ensure the security of the universe. But if you refuse to let other outsiders enter, the outsider can also refuse you entry into his universe. If things continue like this, the universe will inevitably become isolated. More opportunities will be missed. Once a disaster breaks out in the universe, this isolated universe will be everyone's first choice for attack. Anyway, as long as the entire universe is destroyed, there will be no revenge seekers. Most universes would only limit and focus on outsiders. Only extremely dangerous outsiders will be deported. Directly issuing a killing order is something that no ordinary leader can do. After Zhu Zhao thought about this, he noticed the terrifying power fluctuations. Master Feng, a strong person has entered this world. Should we change places? Feng Qingran raised her head and looked at the sky. At her level of cultivation, she could see several figures standing there even without using her spiritual consciousness. That's quite outrageous. The simple feeling of a cultivator actually made him so alert that 5 powerful men came directly. Feng Qingran was completely sure. She was afraid that she wouldn't be able to find anything. You should also pay special attention to your behavior. Feng Qingran clenched the Hongmeng pearl in her hand, feeling a little nervous. It's useless to change places. Now the whole world is within their scope. Our best way is not to expose any aura and wait and see what happens. She's not afraid of a fight. I'm just afraid of the consequences of a fight. She was an intruder, so she was in the wrong, so she should try to avoid killing if she could. If only the Hongmeng tree was awake. She can contact the boundary tree in this universe and know the situation here. Feng Qingran put away the Jushao pagoda and stones and waited for the return of the swallowing consciousness. It seems that the swallowing consciousness has been gone for a long time. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 1495 Monogatari Mysterious Technique. The 5 powerful men above the sky looked at each other after investigating. After a moment, 4 eyes fell on an old man. The old man's back was hunched, he was dressed in a black robe, and his face was crisscrossed with wrinkles. It looked like he had experienced the baptism of vicissitudes of life. The old man's eyes were surprisingly deep and bright, revealing wisdom and sharpness. It seems that all falsehood cannot be hidden under his eyes. The old man sent a message to the 4 people in front of him, communicate through sound transmission. The other 4 ascetics suddenly understood. A man in brown brocade clothes, about 20 years old, sent a message, Ancestor, what did you find? There is indeed an outsider, and he is also a peerless strongman who is extremely good at hiding. It is currently impossible to determine the specific location of the other party, but the other party must be hiding in this world. After the old man finished speaking, the remaining 4 people suddenly became serious. Originally, only the 4 of them came for this operation. But the following report said that it feels like the dead energy here is decreasing. After hearing the news, Patriarch Kang Yun actually decided to come in person. Fortunately, Patriarch Kang Yun is here. Otherwise, they really wouldn't be able to detect so many things just by themselves. Without waiting for the 4 of them to speak, Ancestor Kang Yun's message sounded again. Kang Shi, you go to the northern region of the world to explore. Kang Ji, you go to the southern region and focus on checking whether there is a conscious body. Kang Huai, take a look at the eastern region. Don't go down there, I'm afraid there are rebels down there. Kang Xin, go to Feng Yun Valley and check. Use this if necessary. Ancestor Kang Yun raised his hand and handed Kang Xin a huge plate. Kang Xin's eyes flashed. The ancient market was the ancestor's favorite thing, but he was willing to take it out. It seemed that the outsiders this time were not simple. Ancestor, what should we do in the west? Kang Huai asked via voice transmission. I will go there in person. You must be careful and don't be careless. Ancestor Kang Yun said in a message. Yes. The 4 ascetics dispersed. Ancestor Kang Yun looked at the world below, his eyes full of sadness. He hated all outsiders. They are shameless and greedy. Master Feng, are we going to be exposed? A cultivator is coming towards us, Zhu Zhao said worriedly. Feng Qingran didn't respond this time. Judging from the other party's whereabouts, it didn't look like he had discovered her, but was doing a routine inspection. Zhu Zhao looked at it and suggested, Master Feng, there are only no explorers in the west, why don't we go there first to avoid it? Feng Qingran looked at the approaching explorers and agreed to Zhu Zhao's proposal. She dodged a few times and left the ruins. As soon as she left, Kang Shi came to where she was standing. Kang's eyes were slightly cold and he looked towards the ruins. An intuition told him that there were traces of tampering here. Kang Shi cautiously released his divine energy and explored the surrounding situation. Then a piece of gravel floated in front of him. Kang Shi's fingertips floated, and golden water appeared, surrounding the gravel. The gravel then turns into powder and blends into the water flow. In an instant, the water flow formed a water curtain, and a sentence appeared in front of Kang's eyes. A fragment with a mark has mysteriously disappeared. Kang's eyes turned cold, and his fingertips floated again, without any change in the water curtain. Kang's face became serious. The Kang family's mysterious art can communicate with dead objects. As long as it happens within an hour, the dead thing will describe it. Why is there only one sentence like this now? Even if the ascetic enters again, he will shield his breath. As long as the things here are touched, the breath should not be revealed. Kang Shi waved his hand and put a piece of gravel into the water curtain. It's still the same sentence as before. Kang's expression became serious. I just hope that those who come here are not outsiders. Kang Shi passed on the discovered news to Ancestor Kang Yun. Ancestor Kang Yun did not respond to Kang Shi. Because he felt the aura of a peerless treasure. He has been to this world many times. This was the first time I noticed this kind of aura. Ancestor Kang Yun's eyes became sharper and sharper. Could it be that a treasure was about to be born, which attracted outsiders? Ancestor Kang Yun's Tao Chi started to circulate throughout his body, and then spread quickly. Invisible talismans were flying in the air one after another. Eventually, they intertwined into lines, forming an unbreakable barrier network. The peerless treasure that belongs to the universe cannot be taken away by outsiders. Fang Qingran has just stepped into the western region. Before he could react, he felt an invisible net covering him. At the same time, there is still terrifying pressure spreading. The Hongmeng Pearl in her hand suddenly glowed. Fang Qingran could feel that the protective barrier given by Hongmeng Pearl had strengthened a lot. Zhu Zhao also noticed this abnormality and said slightly worriedly, "Master Fang, we won't be discovered, right?" The next moment, Fang Qingran felt a strange aura approaching her. Fang Qingran didn't dare to use magic anymore, and directly used the power of Hongmeng Pearl to leave quickly. Fang Qingran changed places several times but couldn't find the exit. Helpless, she could only keep looking for an exit. When encountering the barrier again, Zhu Zhao said, "Master Fang, we may not be able to get out of this area." They must have discovered something abnormal, so they sealed the place directly. Fang Qingran lowered his head and glanced at Zhu Zhao with a strange look in his eyes. "Zhu Zhao, why don't you just stop talking?" Zhu Zhao was stunned for a moment, then met Fang Qingran's strange eyes. Fang Qingran was also helpless. She finally discovered it. All Zhu Zhao's guesses came true. Is this the crow's mouth in the storybook? It shouldn't be. Zhu Zhao has a lot of luck. She still has so much merit and virtue in her body, so she shouldn't have bad luck again and again. She suddenly remembered the monk's words. "A Taoist friend I know came here. After returning, he had bad luck again and again. In the end, he almost died. I really don't want to come to such an abandoned place. Is there something wrong with this world?" Fang Qingran suddenly had a bad feeling. She wanted to let the swallowing consciousness come back first. But if she uses the power of divine consciousness to contact the devouring consciousness, she will definitely be exposed. Fang Qingran held her forehead, finally understanding what it was like to be unlucky. But Zhu Zhao didn't realize the problem, and was still wondering why Fang Qingran didn't let him speak. Could it be that it was too wordy and disturbed Fang Qingran's thinking? Zhu Zhao was a little sad. That terrifying aura appeared again, still approaching a little bit. Zhu Zhao reminded, "Master Fang, go quickly, the other party is here." Fang Qingran could only change places. Fang Qingran stopped at the edge of the barrier and fell into deep thought. My aura has not leaked out. Why can the other party always find my location accurately? Zhu Zhao subconsciously answered, "Master Fang, could it be that he has a special treasure in his hand, so he can sense your location?" Just as Zhu Zhao finished speaking, Fang Qingran felt that the other party was coming again. Without any time to think, Fang Qingran hugged Zhu Zhao and hid in the void space. Her figure just disappeared. Ancestor Kang Yun appeared at the place where she disappeared. Ancestor Kang Yun stared at the small disc in his palm. The pointer above started to spin around, as if it had lost its target. Has the other party already obtained the peerless treasure? Otherwise, why would the treasure be moving? Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 1496 Hongmeng Pearl has no level, additional update. Ancestor Kang Yun looked at the spinning pointer with surprise in his eyes. It seems that this outsider really has some skills. Under his suppression, he could still move so fast. Ancestor Kang Yun restrained his aura. Since he obviously couldn't find the other party, he stopped looking. Anyway, this kind of talisman barrier can only be entered and exited using the Kang family's secret method. No matter how powerful the opponent is, they can't escape. Ancestor Kang Yun flew into the sky. The entire western region is under his gaze. Master Phoenix, if we hide in, what if the other party is squatting outside? We're afraid we won't be able to get out. Zhu Zhao said worriedly. Fang Qingran's eyes twitched and she remained silent. As long as she doesn't let the candle shine, bad luck will not happen to her. Anyway, devouring consciousness hasn't moved yet, so it's not a bad thing to wait here. Fang Qingran decided to practice for a while before going out. Zhu Zhao was really sad when he found out that Fang Qingran ignored him. He turned around and looked for Fang Jingyu and the others. After everyone listened to Zhu Zhao's description, they didn't find anything unusual. Zhu Zhao only told what happened and did not mention the conversation between him and Fang Qingran. Fang Xi's eyes showed a solemn look. The Phoenix Master entered this universe without leaking any breath before and after. How did the strong people here discover the existence of the Phoenix Master? And the cultivator who tracks the Phoenix Master's whereabouts, how can he always find the Phoenix Master's location accurately? Hey, it's a good thing that there is only one cultivator chasing the Phoenix Master. If a group of people come, even if there is Hongmeng Pearl, the Phoenix Master may have nowhere to hide. Fang Xi said this, paused, and then said, I remember that the swallowing consciousness explained that it is very easy and fast to swallow the death consciousness in the killing universe. It has been away for a long time this time. Could it be that the consciousness of death is very strong this time? Could it be that it encountered some difficulties and did not come back for so long? Or maybe the swallowing consciousness wants to repeat the same trick, deliberately delaying time to get benefits. After everyone listened to Fang Xi's analysis, they started thinking. They all know that Hongmeng Pearl has the ability to block the deduction of heavenly secrets. It is impossible to find out the Phoenix Master hidden under the Hongmeng Pearl based on deduction alone. Does the other party have a higher level treasure than the Hongmeng Pearl? Fang Jingyu expressed her guess. Ancestor Long Yu said, there cannot be a higher level treasure than the Hongmeng Pearl. There must be another reason why the other party can accurately find Xiaofeng's location. There are many Hongmeng treasures derived from nothingness. Unfortunately, now only the Hongmeng Pearl is left. It was a complete accident that the Hongmeng Pearl escaped the destruction of the Great Tribulation and survived to this day. The Hongmeng Pearl is a space artifact. It contains all the secrets of the laws of heaven and earth, forming extremely special restrictions. Strictly speaking, Hongmeng Pearl has no level and does not have attack power. Because of this, Hongmeng Pearl poses no threat to the world. Therefore, traveling outside all rules is gradually being ignored completely. There is another special point about Hongmeng Pearl. That is, anyone who has seen the Hongmeng Pearl will be able to forget its existence if they move their eyes slightly. In other words, even if the Hongmeng Pearl is placed on the feet of a monk. As long as the other person isn't looking at it, they won't be able to spot it. No one can remember the appearance of Hongmeng Pearl. Naturally, there are very few records about Hongmeng Pearl. Fang Qingran was able to get the Hongmeng Pearl only because he missed it. Fang Si asked curiously, the Hongmeng Pearl has no level. Does that mean its level follows the Phoenix Master? The ancestral dragon responded, yes, but there is a shield of law on Xiao Qingran's body. As long as it is prying by those who are below the Lord of Laws, the Hongmeng Pearl can block it. Fang Si heard the words of the ancestral dragon and said in a solemn tone, this universe obviously hates outsiders. They're afraid that they will find the Phoenix Lord at all costs. The Lord of Law they sent is not scary. I'm just afraid that they will let high-level cultivators come out to look for traces of the Phoenix Master. There are 9 levels of monks. Taoist, Taoist King. Taoist King is a low-level ascetic. Tao Huang, Tao Emperor, and Tao Zun are middle-level Taoists. Taoism is a high-level monk. Those in the higher realm are called divine realm cultivators. The Taoist Master is the supreme Taoist cultivator. The Taoist King is the king, the Emperor is revered, and the Taoist leader is regarded as the Taoist Master. The cultivators in the Taoist realm are at an abnormal level, both in terms of their own strength and their ability to sense the world. However, Phoenix Master leaked a little bit of his aura. They can deduce the path taken by Phoenix Master based on that aura. Includes information related to Phoenix Lord. At this moment, the devouring consciousness is still outside. It is extremely disadvantageous for Phoenix Master. Probably not. Ascetics in the Taoist realm will only take action when the world encounters a crisis of destruction. Zhu Zhao put forward a different view. For Sister Fang, every crisis is a new life. Even if she really meets a cultivator in the Taoist realm, Sister Fang has a way to resolve the crisis. Fang Jingyu said with determination. Ellipsis. After Fang Qingran practiced for a period of time, he noticed some changes in the Tao trees in the Sea of Consciousness. She knew that this change must be related to swallowing consciousness. Fang Qingran did not call Zhu Zhao this time and left the space alone. She was afraid that appearing together with Zhu Zhao would lead to double bad luck. The barrier is still there. But the monk who was chasing her disappeared. Fang Qingran's apricot eyes flashed with a faint light. Since the other party already knew of her existence, it was better to destroy the barrier and leave. She raised her hand, and a stack of talismans smashed down the barrier. Throw it away and run away. Boom. Boom. Ellipsis. Earth-shaking sounds sounded one after another. This alarmed Ancestor Kangyun above. Ancestor Kangyun felt the remaining aura of the talisman paper, and his eyes suddenly froze. This was the unique aura of the talisman of the Kang family. Ancestor Kangyun's eyes became more murderous. This despicable outsider actually used something from God's family. The other party is indeed a Shuanan practitioner. Do you really think that you can destroy the Kang family's talisman barrier with Kang family's things? Ancestor Kangyun just let out a cold snort. Click. There were cracks in the barrier. Ancestor Kangyun couldn't control the coercion he exuded, and a loud and murderous voice sounded, I don't care what you want to do in the Kangyun realm. But I tell you, you can't escape from here. Patriarch Kangyun immediately sent a message to the head of the Kang family. Let him bring the formation masters in his family to seal off the entire abandoned land. Of course Fang Qingran heard what Patriarch Kangyun said. After hearing his threatening words, she was not worried, but returned to the place where she threw the talisman. Anyone who comes here will be unlucky. She felt that Ancestor Kangyun was no exception. As soon as Fang Qingran arrived at the place where the talisman had exploded, he saw a big hole in the barrier. Fang Qingran looked happy. Sure enough, even bad luck can turn into good luck if used properly. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 1497 The plot is wrong, additional update during holidays. Fang Qingran hurriedly ran towards the crack. You're about to go out, don't worry about anything else. But just as she was about to touch the barrier, the next moment, a ray of light flashed through and the crack disappeared. The barrier is restored intact. At the same time, 4 more figures entered the barrier. He stood not far from her. Fang Qingran was stunned for a moment. The script shouldn't be like this. Why are there so many more ascetics? Fang Qingran still hasn't figured out why. I saw countless figures passing through the world barrier and heading this way. Fang Qingran was really speechless this time. She could only enter the void again. Fang Qingran sat beside the Hongmeng tree and fell into deep thought. Where does the problem occur? Obviously everyone should be unlucky. Everyone should also acquire the skill, Crow's Mouth. What was promised did not work. What is bad will surely come true. Ancestor Kangyun just said it himself that she would not be able to escape. Then she can escape. Why doesn't it work? Fang Qingran was puzzled. Zhu Zhao and the others were hiding in the dark. When they saw Fang Qingran going out, he quickly came in again with an unhappy look on his face, so he didn't dare to disturb them. Now they are afraid of being exposed, and they don't dare to use their spiritual sense to explore the outside world, so they don't know what is happening outside. Master Phoenix is probably really in trouble this time. Zhu Zhao sent a message to everyone. Sister Fang can definitely turn danger into safety, Fang Jingyu said through her voice. Fang Si echoed the message, it's okay. Didn't Zhu Zhao say that there is only one cultivator chasing Phoenix Master, not a group of them? With the Hongmeng Pearl around, Phoenix Master will definitely be able to escape if he wants to. Fang Shichu suggested, Brother Fang Si, if that's not possible, you can go out with the Chaos Gourd and collect the cultivator. Then Lord Fang will blow up the barrier and you will be able to escape. Fang Si suddenly remembered the last experience and said via message, I won't go. Instead, Little Mushroom said with high spirits, it's okay, as long as we are here, we can even knock out that ascetic. Outside space. Kangxi and the others found Ancestor Kangyun. Kangxi looked worried, Ancestor, are you okay? Ancestor Kangyun said with a majestic look, I'm fine, but it's very strange. I have clearly captured the other person's aura, but I still can't deduce any information about the other person. He had never been in this situation. Kang Shi remembered the words he saw. Ancestor, does the other party know our Kang family's tricks? Otherwise, let's ask the Bailey family and Ji family to come over. Ancestor Kang Yun refused. This is the grudge between our Kang family and Xuanzhe. Don't let them get involved. You guys arrived just in time and the other party didn't escape. Kang Shi, tell the Kang family's children to search the entire barrier and don't let go of any clues. Yes. After Kang Shi left, Kang Yun stared at the compass spinning in his hand. Is this thing really broken? While Kang Yun was still deep in thought, the entire abandoned land suddenly began to shake. Since the significance of the Great Avenue here is almost extinct, there will be no visions of heaven and earth at all. This kind of movement must be man-made. Kang Shi came to Kang Yun in an instant. Ancestor, is there more than one outsider? Kang Yun felt the turmoil of the heaven and earth, put away the compass, and found 3 simple jade pieces in his hand. The small jade pieces are engraved with special runes and totems. Ancestor, no. Have you forgotten? The ancestor of the Ji family said that you will no longer be able to use deduction in the past 10,000 years. Kang Shi said nervously. If you don't consider that you are a junior. At this moment, he must have stepped forward and snatched away what was in the opponent's hand. Kang Yun waved his hand. Kang Shi, if you encounter a mysterious person from the Xuan sect, you will definitely punish him. This is the ancestral motto of our Kang family. I cannot let these mysterious people escape here, otherwise I will not be able to feel at ease even if I am alive. If you kill one more mysterious person, you can protect one more Kang family disciple. It can also protect more people. Ancestor. Kang Shi looked complicated. He only knew that the ancestor hated Xuanzhe very much. I only know that the Kang family and the Xuanmen have a blood feud. The only thing I don't know is what happened that year. Even the current head of the Kang family does not know the specific grudges between Xuanmen and the Kang family. He only heard that every head of the Kang family would receive an inheritance. That is how to discover and determine the identity of the mysterious person. Kang Yun stared at Kang Shi with a serious expression. Kang Shi, you are the best among your generation, the fastest to learn the Kang family's techniques, and the most similar to her back then. I hope you can inherit the Kang family well. Don't go down her old path. Kang Yun didn't say this sentence. Kang Shi felt that he saw pity, appreciation, regret in Kang Yun's eyes. Kang Shi knew that these feelings were not for him. He has known for a long time that the Kang family has a genius who cannot be mentioned. He had heard from other places that he had swept away all the geniuses among his peers at that time, and was the one who was most likely to become a taskmaster. But in the end she was trapped by love. The Kang family only remembered that she was the former young master of the Kang family. Nothing else. Not even a name was left. Kang Shi couldn't figure out why she, who was so powerful, was trapped by love. For her, it should be what she wants and what she has. Ancestor, don't worry, I will definitely make the Kang family stronger and stronger. Kang Shi said with firm eyes. Kang Yun looked at Kang Shi, who was in high spirits, and his eyes were in a trance again. He finally sighed and patted Kang Shi on the shoulder. I believe you can do it. Then he sat cross-legged, with 3 jade pieces surrounding him in his palms. Seeing this, Kang Shi didn't dare to disturb him, and quietly sent a message to the head of the family, informing Kang Yun of his behavior. The anxious voice of the head of the Kang family suddenly sounded in Kang Shi's sea of consciousness. Stop the ancestor quickly. The ancestor has secretly deduced several times, and he can no longer use the deduction technique. Kang's eyes expression changed suddenly when he heard this. He knew nothing about what the head of the family said. Master, the ancestor has entered the deduction state. If you interrupt without permission, I'm afraid the situation will be worse. The head of the Kang family sent a message. Guard the ancestor, I will go there now. Remember, don't let other family members get close to the ancestor. Kang Shi responded, and then a dark light flashed across his eyes. The children of the Kang family are not allowed to approach their ancestors. Could it be that there is actually a traitor hidden in the Kang family? Is it possible? The blood of the Kang family cannot be faked. Only those who sincerely belong to the Kang family can practice Kang family magic. How can a rebel hide in this situation? Kang Shi thought about this and then thought of the young master who had not been mentioned. There was no record of his betrayal of the Kang family. When the ancestor mentioned her, there was only regret and regret, but no hatred. If she was trapped by love and caused the Kang family to suffer, the ancestor would never behave like that. So is there something hidden about her? While Kang Shi was thinking, he noticed a breath appearing. He looked up and saw a man in white with a calm temperament and elegant manner appearing opposite him. That is, behind the ancestor. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 1498 Waiting for the plan to succeed. Kang's eyes were like swords, staring closely at Kang Huai who appeared behind Patriarch Kang Yun. Remembering the warning from the family leader, he did not act rashly. Kang Huai, what do you want to do here? One corner of Kang Huai's lips curled up in a slightly weird smile, which ruined his elegant temperament. Kang Huai said in a pleasant voice, you will know what I want to do soon, Kang Shi, don't be anxious. After Kang Huai finished speaking, he raised his hand, pinched a magic formula, and then said, you guys can come up too. Hearing this, Kang Shi had a bad feeling in his heart, before he could think more about it. Suddenly 2 figures appeared in his sight. They fell on the left and right sides of Kang Yun ancestor respectively. At this moment, Kang Yun ancestor was already surrounded. Kang Shi looked gloomy and looked at the newly appeared Kang Ji and Kang Xin. Their eyes were dull, as if they had no souls. Kang Shi suddenly understood something and moved his fingertips slightly. Kang Shi, I advise you not to move. Kang Huai said, raising his hand. A short sword appeared with black mist on it. Kang Huai pointed the dagger at the ancestor Kang Yun. Kang Shi, if you dare to send a message to the master of the family, this bloody sword will immediately pierce the ancestor's body. Kang Shi, as a direct bloodline of the Kang family, you know more than me, and you must know the consequences of evil ghost blood entering the body. Kang Huai's threat worked. Kang Shi could only give up transmitting messages to the head of the Kang family. If the ancestor was in his heyday, he would not be afraid of the evil spirit's blood entering his body, but at this moment he did not dare to gamble. The ancestor is now in a state of deduction. Even if there is a protective barrier, the blood of evil ghosts entering the body will still affect the ancestor. If the ancestor's deduction was interrupted, the backlash that the ancestor would suffer would be more serious than the evil ghost's blood gas entering his body. Kang Huai's eyes darkened when he saw that Kang Shi had compromised. If this talent cultivated by the young master of the Kang family can be used to his advantage, future plans will definitely go smoother. Kang Shi forced himself to calm down and said, Kang Huai, our ancestor treats you well. Why did you betray your ancestor? Why did you betray the Kang family? Kang Huai lowered his head and looked at the dagger in his hand. Why? I can't tell you yet. You will know when the plan is successful. Kang Huai, there are so many Kang family disciples below, how dare you do this, aren't you afraid? Kang Shi said half of what he said. Kang Huai interrupted him, you can take a look. Are there any Kang family members there? Kang's eyes consciousness spread to the entire barrier, and he found that the Kang family's children were all like puppets on strings, standing there with dull eyes. Kang Shi, if you take the initiative to obey my orders, you don't have to be like them. After Kang Huai finished speaking, he waved his hand again. The dullness in the eyes of the Kang family disciples below disappeared and they quickly moved into action. Kang Shi looked horrified. What on earth did Kang Huai do to them? Kang Huai was brought back from outside by the Kang family. He remembered clearly that when Kang Huai returned to the Kang family, the first thing he did was to verify his bloodline and then go to the ancestral temple to pay homage to his ancestors. There is a soul formation inside the ancestral temple. Back then, Kang Huai not only passed the soul formation, but also received blessings from his ancestors. The Kang family treats all its children equally. So even if Kang Huai's qualifications are extremely poor, the Kang family still took out the treasures of heaven and earth and carefully cultivated Kang Huai. Now Kang Huai has chosen to betray the Kang family. After Kang Huai betrayed the Kang family, why didn't he suffer backlash? How could Kang Huai control these Kang family disciples by himself? Kang Shi looked at Kang Huai opposite, and there were too many questions without answers. He doesn't know how to get out of trouble. They came to this world to kill outsiders. This turned out to be the case. A worried look appeared in Kang Zai's eyes. Could it be that Kang Huai's target is not only the ancestor, but also the entire Kang family? Kang Huai, are you not of the Kang family? Kang Huai chuckled and said, yes, I have the blood of the Kang family. If I don't have the blood of the Kang family, how can I enter the Kang family and how can I practice the Kang family's magic? Kang Shi, you don't need to test, you will have the answer soon. Kang Zai's face turned paler. Are there no outsiders at all? Is everything a conspiracy of yours? Kang Huai seemed to be in a good mood, and he was a little more patient with Kang Shi. I don't know, I was still waiting for the opportunity, but you guys gave the opportunity to me. I would also like to thank the nameless outsider. The other party's appearance can actually alarm this old guy. If he stays in the Kang family and doesn't come out, I really don't dare to attack the Kang family, let alone expose myself. But now, as long as he dies, your Kang family will have no support. I want to take down the Kang family easily. After Kang Huai finished speaking to Kang Shi, he said to Kang Xin, give me that ancient plate. Kang Xin offered the object with both hands without hesitation. Kang Huai looked at Kang Shi again and said casually, Master Kang, please give me a drop of blood. Don't play tricks, otherwise my sword will pierce you. Kang Huai's posture was leisurely at the moment, as if everything was under control. Kang Shi could vaguely guess what Kang Huai wanted the essence and blood for. But he had to give it to the other party. Kang Huai is a bloodline of the Kang family. He has practiced with him for so long. He understands the Kang family and understands him even more. Ordinary Kang family spells cannot be hidden from Kang Huai. Kang Shi didn't even dare to gamble with Patriarch Kang Yun. One thing Kang Huai said was right, Patriarch Kang Yun could not die. Kang Shi sacrificed a drop of blood and gave it to Kang Huai. Kang Huai quickly put the essence and blood into the ancient plate, and then threw it upward. The formation light lit up in midair. The prehistoric trap formation was formed. Kang Shi looked horrified. This trap was actually connected to his life. After the ancestor wakes up, even if he still has the strength to break through the trap formation, he will probably have to be wary. Kang Huai, you are despicable. This is called cleverness. The old man cares about you the most, and you are also the future of the Kang family. He will not let you die. Kang Huai said quite confidently. Ancestor Kang Yun cannot die yet, the most important thing is still in his hands. When the time comes, I don't know if Patriarch Kang Yun will choose to protect Kang Shi, or will he be willing to hand over the 40 talisman. Kang Huai stared at Kang Zai's face, with a malicious look in his eyes. Kang Shi, do you want to know your life experience? You don't need to know my life experience. Kang Shi said coldly. He would believe every word Kang Huai said. Kang Shi, aren't you curious about who your biological father is? In fact, your surname should not be Kang. You and I are the same. We should both recognize our ancestors and return to our clan. Kang Shi only felt that Kang Huai's words were incomprehensible. I don't need to recognize my ancestors and return to the clan. I'm a bloodline of the Kang family, and my surname will always be Kang. Kang Huai's eyes were dark. Kang Shi, don't you want to know who your father is? I don't want to know. I already thought he was dead. Kang Shi couldn't get enough of it. Kang Shi, your father was forced to leave just like my father. We should have had a father instead of being called bastards. This is all the fault of the Kang family. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 1499. Are you a monk? Kang Shi, don't be fooled by the benefits given by the Kang family. The Kang family gives you resources to train you, just to use you. Kang Shi, you should be like me, take back everything that belongs to you, and then find your father. The more Kang Huai spoke, the more excited he became, and he spoke in a somewhat bewitching manner. Kang Shi frowned slightly. Kang Huai, who called you a bastard? Kang Huai was stunned, obviously not expecting that Kang Zai's focus would be this. Kang Huai's eyes suddenly turned sinister. It's them. Many people said that they always call me a bastard, that everyone else has a father, that everyone takes their father's surname, but I am neither of the two. They say this is called a bastard. They also said that if I am like this, even if I reach the top, I will still be scorned. Because I have no family, I have no place to belong to, and I can only become an existence that is laughed at. Fortunately, when I grew up, I found the people my father left behind. They told me what my last name should be and also let me know who my father was. As long as I find a way to become stronger, I can find my father and live with him. At that time, I was someone I could rely on. No one could talk about me. They would only look up to me. Kang Huai was already a little crazy when he said it at the end. When Kang Shi heard Kang Huai's words, she felt something was wrong. The Kang family rules are very strict, and it is impossible for a Kang family child to say such things to Kang Huai. Moreover, there is no rule that a person must take his mother's or father's last name. It all depends on the decision of both parties. If you want to inherit something from your mother's family, you must naturally take your mother's surname. If you choose to take your father's surname, you will inherit your father's family's things in the future. He is in the Kang family and enjoying the resources and support of the Kang family. Why should he take his father's surname? There was no father in his memory at all. The guy who never raised him has no need to show up when he grows up. Kang Shi always felt that Kang Huai's remarks made him extremely uncomfortable. Kang Huai used the resources of the Kang family to become powerful, and then turned against the Kang family, and wanted to give the Kang family's property to his father whom he had never met before. It was really funny. According to Kang Huai's idea, his father didn't have to do anything to get a powerful family and a well-trained heir. The schemer behind this is really vicious. The person who plotted against the Kang family was indeed extremely vicious, but Kang Huai was definitely not innocent either. Kang Huai has lived in the Kang family for so long and received so many correct teachings, yet he still believes that he has misunderstood the Kang family because of some remarks. It can only be said that Kang Huai is a complete white-eyed wolf. Kang Shi has made it clear in his heart that Kang Huai must die after the Kang family escapes from trouble. A white-eyed wolf like Kang Huai is far more terrifying than the jackals, tigers and leopards outside. Kang Shi observed the state of Kang Yun ancestor. It was found that the other party's deduction time was obviously too long. What's strange is that the ancestor doesn't have any breath fluctuations. Deduction is the most energy-consuming and energy-consuming. The ancestor didn't seem to be deducing at this moment, but rather seemed to be meditating. Kang's eyes flashed slightly. Could it be that the ancestor was setting up a trap? Not quite like it. If the ancestor has some arrangements, how could these Kang family disciples all follow Kang Huai's ways? There must be a few who are awake, right? Kang Shi searched several times and determined one thing. All the children of the Kang family were under the control of Kang Huai. Kang Shi had not listened to what Kang Huai said. But Kang Huai was still chattering there, talking about the depression and humiliation he had felt over the years. Kang Shi, I don't even have a father in the Kang family. If something happens, no one will protect me. I have to bear everything by myself. I've had enough of such painful days. Kang Huai, are you a Taoist? What do you mean? Kang Shi looked at Kang Huai in confusion. Kang Huai, why do you care about this? A cultivator should strive for self-improvement and be unyielding. Why do you expect your father to protect you? Can't you protect yourself? Besides, if you have a father, will he definitely protect you? You can't even trust yourself. Do you think your father can be trusted? A cultivator should have a stable Taoist mind. You actually care about the eyes of others. Do they have the final say on whether you are strong or not? How strong you are can only be decided by you. Kang Huai, you are so pathetic and pitiful. Kang Huai's expression was startled, and his eyes turned sinister. Kang Shi, what are you talking about? Kang Shi smiled sarcastically. Kang Huai, look at Kang Ji and Kang Xin, what's the difference between you and them? They're just puppets manipulated by others. Of course, there is a difference. Kang Ji and Kang Xin have become puppets without knowing it, and you still need to expend your energy to control them. And you are willing to become a puppet. Others can control all your actions with just a few words. Kang Huai, you are pitiful like this, what are you? Kang Shi looked at Kang Huai who looked like he was about to burst into tears, and the sarcasm in his eyes became even more obvious. Kang Shi noticed that Kang Huai was obviously confused and breathed a sigh of relief. Kang Shi, you are talking nonsense. How could I be a puppet? I am the young master they want to obey, and I will inherit it in the future. Kang Huai's words stopped abruptly. Kang Huai trembled all over, as if some kind of restriction had been touched. He suddenly woke up, and for a while he was afraid that he had almost lost his mind and exposed the secret. As mentioned above, no mention of Xuanren is allowed until the dust settles. Kang Shi, swallow this. Kang Huai threw a pill to Kang Shi and ordered. Kang Shi calmly swallowed the pill. When Kang Huai saw Kang's eyes movements, he was ready to activate the poison in the elixir to control Kang Shi. How dare you call him a puppet? He let Kang Shi have a taste of being a puppet. At this moment, the terrifying power of God quickly enveloped the entire world. Even within the barrier, Kang Shi and the others were affected by the pressure. On the contrary, Ancestor Kang Yun was not affected. At the same time, countless light pillars soaring into the sky lit up in the southern region. Those light pillars were majestic and seemed to have vast power. Kang Huai looked at those light pillars with astonishment in his eyes. The avenue of this world was sleeping. How could there be such a strange phenomenon in the world? Wrong. This is not a vision of heaven and earth, it seems to be a great formation that reaches the sky. Kang Huai's face looked ugly. This vision might attract other forces, so he must hurry up with his next plan. Kang Huai withdrew his gaze, raised his dagger, and stabbed towards Ancestor Kang Yun. Suddenly, Kang Huai felt a chill coming from his back. He subconsciously dodged, and at the same time, he did not forget to push the dagger towards Ancestor Kang Yun. However, the dagger did not penetrate into the body of Kang Yun Ancestor, but turned into powder. Kang Huai and Kang Shi noticed the strange aura fluctuations at the same time. But this breath appears and disappears just as quickly. Kang Shi thought about exploring but found nothing. Kang Huai looked at Kang Shi immediately. Kang Shi, were you acting just now? Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 1500. Courtesy first, then attack. Additional update. Kang Shi then looked at Kang Huai. Aren't you very smart? You still don't know whether I'm acting or not. Kang Huai looked at Kang Shi with a mocking look, and seemed to understand something. The person who just made the move must be an outsider. Kang Huai shouted into the air, you should know that the entire universe is chasing you. As long as you cooperate with me and we control the Kang family, I will have a way to remove your killing order. Kang Huai, you are crazy. The outsider is a mysterious person, and you are still cooperating with him. Kang Shi wanted to kill Kang Huai now. Kang Huai could betray the Kang family for his father. But you must never cooperate with a mysterious person. Kang Shi, it's all because of the Kang family that I'm like this. Kang Huai said confidently. Fang Qingran fell into silence after hearing what Kang Shi and Kang Huai said. When did she become a mysterious person? She really didn't expect it. She just practiced in the space for a while, and when she came out, she found that the forces that captured her were fighting among themselves. Then, she was surprised to find that these people were all named Kang. In particular, Kang Zai's face looks exactly like senior Kang Xuanji. She immediately understood that the Kang family was not exterminated back then. She originally thought that since it was the Kang family, she could just resolve the misunderstanding. So when Kang Huai attacked ancestor Kang Yun, she took action to save him. Then, things developed out of control. Fang Qingran was a little worried at the moment. The misunderstanding seemed difficult to resolve. Jungji, what do you think I should do next? Fang Qingran asked. Master Fang, why don't you cooperate with Kang Huai first, take down the Kang family, and then kill Kang Huai? In this way, you become the leader of the Kang family, you can withdraw the killing order yourself, and then slowly resolve the misunderstanding with the Kang family. Quote. Fang Qingran. Fang Qingran pinched the small wings of Loyalty Gu and poked its chubby body. Loyalty, are you serious? Master Phoenix, this method is the fastest and most effective. You are an outsider and have no right to speak. If you don't have the right to speak, they won't believe anything you say. If you want to speak effectively, you must first have power. Fang Qingran suddenly felt that Loyalty Gu's words had some truth to them. Wrong. I was almost cornered. Loyalty, or else, stop being a Gu and return to your origins. Fang Qingran suggested. How wonderful is it to be a Gu? With my current body, I can control whoever I want to control wherever I want to go. Lord Phoenix, how about I control that ancestor for you? He seems to be very powerful and has a lot of say. Loyalty Gu came up with a bad idea that he thought was a good one. Loyalty, I am a cultivator, and they're also cultivators. The wrong way of understanding will only deepen the misunderstanding. Fang Qingran helplessly held her forehead, regretting that she had summoned the Loyalty Gu. Loyalty Gu reacted, Phoenix Master, I have forgotten the days when I was a human. If the suggestion I just made doesn't work, it will be very difficult for you to get out of trouble. The Kang family had already preconceived the idea that Lord Phoenix was a mysterious person. Xuanren plotted against Kang Xuanji like that back then. She also robbed the Kang family of so many things, so whatever the Phoenix Master takes out next will only make the Kang family more certain that she is a mysterious person. Fang Qingran also realized this. She began to think about Loyalty Gu's proposal just now. Phoenix Master, we have to hurry over. If Devour makes such a noise, I'm afraid more powerful people will rush to this world. Loyalty Gu said. Fang Qingran immediately calmed down and chose to send a message to Kang Shi. Fellow Daoist Kang Shi, open the barrier and let me out. I can save Patriarch Kang Yun. Kang Shi listened to the strange voice in the sea of consciousness, with murderous intent in his eyes, looking for Qifeng Qingran's aura. Fang Qingran knew there was no hope as soon as she saw Kang Zai's actions. Then she can only do it by herself. The only ancestor who poses a threat to her cannot come out at the moment. She just made a crack. Fang Qingran threw out a stack of talismans. Deafening explosions were heard everywhere within the barrier. Every time Fang Qingran finished throwing the talisman, he would change his position. Kang Shi couldn't find her at all, let alone catching her. Kang Huai didn't react much to the explosion of the barrier. He had already controlled the old thing, and the rest was not important. Kang Shi quickly sensed the Kang family's aura on those talismans. Kang Huai, you brought this outsider here, right? Kang Shi looked at Kang Huai coldly. Kang Huai also became confused at this moment. Is this outsider really here to help him? Is it just inconvenient to reveal your identity? So Kang Huai, you have cooperated with Xuanzhe. Kang Shi said with a firm tone. Loyalty Gu heard what Kang Shi said and said leisurely, Master Phoenix, you see, they won't believe you at all. Whatever you do next will be wrong. Master Feng, in fact, you cooperated with Kang Huai to take down the Kang family and protect the Kang family. If you miss it, it will be difficult to clear your name a little bit. The fastest way to clear yourself is to first occupy a high position and have power. In this way, no matter what you say, you can quickly convince others. This is what Hong Jun did back then. Jungcheng, you go out and remove the poison for them, and then we go and devour it. Fang Qingran raised her hand and threw the Loyalty Gu out of the Hongming Pearl's barrier. She was really afraid that Loyalty Gu would continue talking, and her heart was moved. As soon as the Loyalty Gu comes out of the barrier, it immediately attracted the attention of Kang Huai and Kang Shi. Kang Huai sensed an extreme threat from Loyalty Gu. Kang Ji, Kang Huai, get rid of it. Kang Ji and Kang Xin quickly rushed towards Loyalty Gu. Come on, come and catch me. Loyalty Gu shouted deliberately. After Loyalty Gu shouted arrogantly, it flew towards Kang Huai and passed over his head. Kang Huai only felt wetness on the top of his head. Before he could think about it, he felt a disgusting smell coming from his body. This smell could not be shielded, and even penetrated into his sea of consciousness. Kang Huai wanted to cleanse this smell. But no matter what method he tried, he failed. Kang Huai's anger shot straight to the top of his head, and he raised his hand to attack the loyalty goo. Kang Shi also looked sad. Because the weird smell also hit him. Is this what the bugs excrete? Kang Shi tried his best to control himself from retching. Seeing this, Fang Qingran quietly came to Kang Yun ancestor and began to study the primordial trap formation. Eventually she discovered that Kang's eye's blood was needed to break the formation. Fellow Daoist Kang Shi, I can break this trap, I just need you to give me a drop of blood. Don't even think about it. Kang Shi refused coldly. Fang Qingran sighed softly and said through a message, Fellow Daoist Kang Shi, I'm sorry, don't blame me. Before Kang Shi could realize what this sentence meant, he felt a pain in his fingertips, and a drop of blood quickly condensed and disappeared. Kang Shi looked at her fingertips and was speechless. Is this a courtesy first and then a soldier? The opponent can take blood and kill him. Kang Shi suddenly felt that she was not a mysterious person. In an instant, a burst of light flashed before Kang's eyes, and the life and death connection between him and the trap formation was lifted. Fellow Daoist Kang Shi, I changed the formation into a protective formation. As long as the senior doesn't take the initiative, no one can hurt him. Kang Shi discovered that the formation was really as the other party said, and realized he might have misunderstood the other party, and quickly asked, You are not a mysterious person, are you? Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 15:01 The Great Formation of Heaven. Kang Shi did not wait for Lai Fang Qingran's response. She came to Kang Huai and directly destroyed his strength. Kang Huai only had time to scream before he fell from the air and hit the ground hard. Fang Qingran sent a message to Loyalty Gu, Loyalty, stop playing around and undo their poison quickly. After hearing this, Loyalty Gu stopped circling and stopped in the air. The next moment, it emitted a soft halo and emitted a strange sound pattern. Only the poisoned person can hear it. Puff. All the Kang family disciples spat out mouthfuls of black blood. There is something moving in the blood. Even Kang Huai is no exception. Only Kang Shi stared blankly at the scene. Soon, the blood evaporated along with the foreign matter, turned into a wisp of smoke, and flew into Loyalty Gu's body. Loyalty Gu has gained weight visibly to the naked eye. The Kang family's children all stared blankly and fainted. Sorry, I'm in a hurry, so I can only treat you so roughly. Loyalty Gu said with a slight apology, and prepared to go find Fang Qingran. Kang Shi stopped Loyalty Gu and said, Hello, I am Kang Shi of the Kang family. Can you please come out to meet your master? Loyalty Gu looked at Kang Shi, oh, I forgot about you. After Loyalty Gu finished speaking, Kang Shi felt a burning pain coming from his danshan, as something was being stripped away. For a moment, the sweet and fishy taste of Kang Shi surged up into my throat, and it seemed like there was a hard object stuck in my throat, unable to go up or down. Spit it out yourself, it hasn't hatched yet, crawl out. Loyalty Gu reminded. The scene of the Kang family vomiting blood suddenly appeared in Kang's eye's mind, and he immediately understood what was stuck in his throat. Kang Shi froze, feeling nauseated, and vomited a mouthful of blood. Scarlet blood fell to the ground, with a black insect egg inside. Seeing this, Kang Shi immediately began to vomit blood uncontrollably, and he had the intention of spitting out all the blood. Not long after, there was a large pool of blood in front of Kang Shi. Loyalty Gu was slightly speechless. Are you planning to warm it up with blood and then hatch it? After saying Loyalty Gu, Kang Shi seemed to be thinking of something and vomited even more. I vomit. Don't want to vomit. Kang Shi couldn't control herself even more when she thought of this thing in her body. Loyalty Gu was speechless for a moment, quickly got rid of the insect eggs, and said to Kang Shi, My master asked me to save you people. Don't forget to repay your kindness. If you dare to repay kindness with hatred, After the Loyalty Gu warned, he immediately flew to the crippled Kang Huai, swallowed the other party's visible memory, and then returned to Fang Qingran. Kang's eyes hand holding the jade pendant froze in midair. The next moment, the jade pendant in his hand disappeared, and a voice came into his consciousness, I accept the jade pendant. They will probably be weak for a long time. You'd better call the Kang family more. Fellow Taoist, may I ask your name? Kang Shi bowed in the air. Fang Qingran. When Kang Shi heard this name, his eyes suddenly changed. It turned out to be Feng. Kang Shi immediately sent a message to the head of the Kang family to explain the situation here. But he didn't wait for the Kang family leader to respond. World outside. The head of the Kang family was dressed in mysterious clothes and had a cold and stern temperament. He looked at the young man opposite who was shrinking his neck and said, You mean, we can't enter this world now? The young formation master said in a loud voice, Didn't the master of the house just tell you that not a single speck of dust can fly out? I will follow your request. The head of the Kang family took a deep breath and tried his best to maintain his majesty. Kang Chi, what I ask is that the dust inside is not allowed to come out. I didn't ask you not to let us in. By the end of the sentence, the head of the Kang family was already gritting his teeth. If Patriarch Kang Yun hadn't entered the deduction, the situation would have been anxious. He would definitely not ask Kang Chi to come here. Kang Chi and Kang Shi are both outstanding disciples of the 72nd generation of the Kang family. Both of them have the same outstanding talents, and they are also candidates to be the young master of the Kang family. Kang Shi is good at Kang family magic. What Kang Chi is good at is the Kang family formation. At first, everyone in the Kang family was more optimistic about Kang Chi, because he actually used the formation to prove the truth. At such a young age, he directly cultivated the art of formations to the level of the Tao Emperor. Unfortunately, when they planned to confirm Kang Chi as the young master, they discovered a fatal problem. Kang Chi's formation is indeed very powerful, it can be said to be unprecedented. But Kang Chi's understanding ability is always very gratifying. Similar things have happened 9,999 times. This time he called Kang Chi. He was afraid that the other party would misunderstand again, so he warned him several times not to let anything inside escape, not even a speck of dust. The other party did this well. But he never imagined that the dust couldn't come out and they couldn't get in. Master, I have only added 99 ancient defense formations to the world. If you really want to enter, I will tell you the 99 techniques. You can enter layer by layer. Kang Chi's voice was as thin as a mosquito's fly, but luckily everyone was a Taoist, otherwise they couldn't hear it at all. The eldest elder of the Kang family came out to smooth things over. Master, if you have a secret, let's go in quickly. I don't know what happened to our ancestors. Kang family leader secretly sighed. This is the only way. But he was just about to speak. Kang Chi said cautiously, Master, you can only go in one by one, not at the same time, otherwise the formation will change, and each of you will use different methods to enter. Kang family members. If you have anything else, please finish it all. Kang family master said with a pale face. If you pronounce a spell incorrectly, you will be trapped in the formation and need me to catch you. Kang Chi said in a very low voice. He didn't think he was at fault. He did this for the safety of his ancestors. After all, the old monsters from other families are not vegetarians. What if they use a strong attack formation? Master, this kid Kang Chi also has good intentions. The eldest elder of the Kang family stepped forward and stopped the Kang family master who was about to take action. Master, don't worry. Our ancestor is safe inside anyway. We can proceed slowly. The second elder of the Kang family also advised. Master, Kang Chi is so kind to us. Our Kang family can't get in, and other family forces can't get in either. Kill two birds with one stone, said the third elder of the Kang family. Everyone in the Kang family looked at the third elder with strange expressions. As soon as the Kang family leader heard that he had suppressed his anger, he became angry again. At this time, countless beams of light broke through the barriers of the world, reflected in the sea of stars in the universe, and illuminated the sky. The appearance of these light pillars did not destroy the formation arranged by Kang Chi. This is the heaven-bearing formation, and it also contains the aura of the Great Law. The Kang family elder said in shock. Isn't the heavenly Tao of this world already asleep long ago? Why is it still descending the heaven-bearing formation? Is the Great Tao revived? Will there be a peerless treasure born? That outsider doesn't want to come and steal the treasure, does he? Ellipsis. Master Kang's face turned pale as he thought of worse things. Such movement will definitely attract other forces. By then, I'm afraid the ancestor's injury will no longer be able to be concealed. Wrong. The head of the Kang family immediately looked at Kang Chi. His anger dissipated. You stand behind me. When other forces come, you say that the formation cannot be broken in a short time. Kang Chi stood obediently behind Kang family master and muttered, it will definitely not be opened in a short time, it will take at least several hours. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 15:02 The consciousness of the avenue awakens one after another. The leader of the Kang family rubbed his eyebrows and resisted the urge to beat Kang Chi. Keep chanting silently. This is the descendant that the ancestor likes. It's hard to explain to the ancestor after being beaten. He might even be beaten back by his ancestor. Master Kang, have you discovered that the strange treasure has been born a long time ago? Before anyone arrived, the sound of temptation sounded first. The head of the family is the head of the Chen family. The eldest elder of the Kang family reminded. The head of the Kang family suddenly returned to his expressionless face, exuding a majestic aura, and looked indifferently at the head of the Chen family who came out of the air. Behind the head of the Chen family were several Taoist realm powerhouses. The head of the Chen family was dressed in brown brocade clothes and looked to be about 40 or 50 years old. He maintained a standard smile on his face and looked like a smiling tiger. Master Kang, do your Kang family want to monopolize the treasure? Master Chen asked with a smile after noticing the existence of the formation. Patriarch Kang glanced at Patriarch Chen lightly. I don't want to. Can the Kang family open this formation and let our Chen family enter? The head of the Kang family said expressionlessly, no. There was a coldness in the eyes of the Chen family leader, and he said patiently, Kang family leader, I heard that there are outsiders here. Could it be that your Kang family wants to collude with outsiders? No. Kang family master's answer was still simple and clear. The head of the Chen family gradually lost his patience. In a world where the consciousness of the Great Tao was sleeping, suddenly a sky-reaching formation lit up, which meant that a peerless treasure must have been born. He wanted to go in and seize the opportunity before other forces came. The head of the Chen family winked at the elder of the Chen family beside him. The elder of the Chen family understood, stepped forward and said, Master Kang, our Chen family has never had any conflict with the Kang family. As long as you open the formation and let us in, our Chen family promises not to hurt any of your Kang family children. The eldest elder of the Kang family took the initiative to answer, Master Chen, it's not that we don't let you in, it's that we can't get in ourselves. If you don't believe it, you can just destroy the formation directly. The eldest elder of the Kang family was sincere and pointed at the direction where the formation could be broken. Seeing this, everyone in the Kang family immediately gave up the position. When the head of the Chen family saw that the Kang family did not stop him, but instead cooperated so much, he felt that it was a scam. The eldest elder of the Chen family stepped in front of the formation, checked it, and sent a message to the head of the Chen family. Head of the house, it is a defensive formation without any attack power. Let's investigate more carefully, the head of the Chen family said through a message. He always felt that the eyes of the Kang family were a bit strange. This formation may contain dangers that cannot be detected. The elder of the Chen family looked at it carefully again and tentatively attacked the formation. Suddenly, a burst of light shines. Seeing this, Kang Chi murmured, this has turned into 100 defensive formations. It will take several days to break them. The master of the house won't beat me, right? The Kang family leader's eyes were twitching wildly, and the idea of beating Kang Chi became more and more serious. Attack once and the defensive formation will grow. I'm afraid only Kang Chi, a weirdo, could come up with this formation method. Master, now that 100 defensive formations have been formed, the world has been completely sealed. Even if you have the magic formula, you can't get in. Kang Chi carefully transmitted the message. The head of the Kang family turned around, glared at Kang Chi fiercely, and asked through a message, "Are you trying to trap the ancestor to death inside?" Kang Chi shook his head and said through a message, "I'm not, I don't have it. Head of the family, don't worry, such a defensive formation will trap the ancestor for 100 years at most." The head of the Kang family sent a message and asked, "Will an attack create a defensive formation?" Kang Chi shook his head again, "Master, don't worry, 100 defensive arrays together are already the limit of the ancient array, and it won't grow anymore. Of course, if there is an ancestor's ancient market, the upper limit will be 10,000. In that case, the ancestor may have to stay in it for tens of thousands of years." After hearing Kang Chi's explanation, the head of the Kang family was completely speechless. He finally understood why the ancestor didn't give Kang Chi the great deal. It wasn't because he was reluctant, but because Kang Chi was sick. The head of the Kang family suddenly thought that there had been no news from Kang Chi for a long time, so he sent a message and asked, "Kang Chi, can this defensive formation isolate everything?" "That's not entirely true. The vision of the sky-reaching formation cannot be isolated," Kang Chi replied. The head of the Kang family immediately understood what Kang Chi meant. In other words, except for the Tongshan formation, everything else is isolated. The head of the Kang family decided to make Kang Chi the young master as soon as possible, and then make Kang Chi the head of the family. At that time, Kang Chi will be able to change his anger as the head of the family. The Chen family has sent formation masters to break the formation. Master Kang looked into the void, knowing that there were many pairs of eyes hidden there. They're waiting to see what happens. The head of the Kang family was suddenly a little lucky. Fortunately, everyone had an oath. Whenever outsiders appeared, the various forces would not allow internal fighting. Otherwise, the Kang family might be under siege right now. "Kang Yu, what do you Kang family want to do?" When the head of the Kang family heard the regional sound transmission, he knew he was in trouble. Everyone will not besiege the Kang family, but they will come to question him. "Master Kang, the peerless treasure has been born, and your Kang family is anxious to seal off the world. Do you want to monopolize it?" "Master Kang, you have to give us a reasonable explanation, otherwise we have reason to suspect that you deliberately brought the outsider here to detain everyone." "Brother Kang, please hurry up and ask Kang Chi to open the formation. This world is about to collapse. We are even more worried that the emergence of the treasure will directly cause the world to collapse." Ellipsis. Seeing that everyone had finally calmed down, the leader of the Kang family said indifferently, "I don't know if there is any treasure. I only know that the outsider is inside. The opponent is very powerful. This formation is to trap the opponent. The ancestor is killing outsiders inside. If we open the formation now, it will delay the ancestor's plan and let the other party escape. Are you responsible?" Did the Kang family confirm the identity of the outsider? "With outsiders inside, we should go in and take a closer look at the treasures. This will not delay Ancestor Kang Yun from killing them. We have so many strong men here, and even if the other party has peerless magical powers, they won't be able to escape. Master Kang is really worrying too much." In addition to the regional voice transmission, the Kang family leader also received several individual voice transmissions. "Brother Kang, why is it the turn of Patriarch Kang Yun to take action for a mere outsider? Could it be that the other party is a mysterious person? Brother Kang, tell the truth. Is this formation to prevent outsiders, or is it to prevent the treasure's aura from leaking?" These two transmissions came from the Bailey family and the Ji family, which had a good relationship with the Kang family. Just when the Kang family leader was thinking about how to restore the two family heads, other worlds also started to shine. After the light, pillars of light lit up into the sky. Suddenly, the dark universe became as bright as day. Those worldly consciousnesses that were originally dead and on the verge of collapse began to wake up. Those vibrant world consciousnesses have not been left behind either. Purple beams of light shot straight into the sky. Such movement suddenly woke up the sleeping old monsters. "Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore." Chapter 1503, Flashing to the Waist, additional update. All consciousness of the Great Avenue is awakened. Probably a good thing. It could also be bad. It's just that the consciousness of the Great Avenue awakens for no reason, and there must be a reason. The old monsters appeared incarnate and found out the problem in a few clicks. But when their clones wanted to enter the problem world, they were blocked by the formation. The outside world lights up with complex patterns. Various runes and formations are intertwined, shining brightly, and it is very spectacular. Whoever left the formation behind, remove it. A vast voice spread throughout the universe. No one responded. Kang family leader and the others did not even dare to take a breath. The head of the Kang family can only pray that the formation that blocks this old monster does not come from Kang Chi, but the original formation of the world. The rules in each world are different. The low-end world will generate formations according to rules to restrict the entry of the strong. Boom. A terrifying attack came out of the void, falling on the world formation. The old monster didn't hold back when it attacked. For him, it is just a world that is about to collapse, no need to care. In this universe, countless worlds collapse and disappear every day. Poof. Kang Chi spit out a mouthful of blood and his face turned as white as paper. The head of the Kang family suddenly had a bad premonition and looked at Kang Chi, but stopped talking. "Did you set up this formation?" "Untie it." A plain voice sounded, but it contained a meaning that could not be refused. The head of the Kang family blocked the pressure for Kang Chi and saluted. "Senior, I asked him to set up the formation, but something went wrong in the middle. It will take some time to break the formation. Please give me some time, Senior." After the Kang family leader finished speaking, he felt an attack fall on him. He had no power to resist and could only bear it. The head of the Kang family stabilized his body a little, and then continued, "Senior, I misunderstood. We did not intentionally delay the time, but when Kang Chi set up this formation, he did not expect that the seniors would come, so he did not contract the formation. When setting up the formation, if the formation master contracts with the formation disk, the formation master can control the entire formation as he wishes. But Kang Chi's formation never contracts the formation disk. According to Kang Chi's idea, a formation cannot even trap him. Then this is a failed formation. The ancestor tried to correct Kang Chi, but failed. Seeing that the head of the family was injured, Kang Chi wanted to explain for him. He pursed his lips and said, "This matter was done by Kang Chi alone and has nothing to do with the Kang family. Senior, please don't blame the Kang family. I will break the formation for you now." Quote. Kang family, but the Kang family left by Kang Yan. A vicissitudes of life and distant voice sounded. The head of the Kang family nodded and said respectfully, "Kang Yan is the 10th generation ancestor of the Kang family." The voice heard this and sighed softly, "Since you are a descendant of Kang Yan, you shouldn't be oppressed by anyone. Break the formation. No one dares to touch your Kang family." After these words fell, everyone in the Kang family felt that all the pressure on them had disappeared, and there was even an extra layer of barrier to protect them. "Thank you, Senior." After the Kang family leader thanked him, he asked Kang Chi to break the formation. Kang Chi took out a stack of god-level talismans, and then a drop of blood sank into the talisman. Then, Kang Chi raised his hand and smashed the talisman against the formation. He himself ducked back to the head of the Kang family. "Is this your method of breaking the formation?" "Master, don't worry, as long as the firepower is enough, it will definitely explode quickly." Kang Chi vowed. The head of the Kang family felt his eyes darken. "Kang Chi, you loser. That is a divine talisman. The Kang family can only produce 1,000 pieces a year. Kang Chi used up 10,000 of them in one go. According to Kang Chi, 10,000 is probably not enough. Master, we should be more worried about what will happen after the formation is broken." The elder of the Kang family sent a message to the Kang family leader to comfort him. Soon, the 10,000 talismans were used up, and only 7 defensive formations were exploded. The other forces looked at Kang family master with strange expressions. Kang Chi took out another stack of talismans, performed the same operation, and threw them at the defensive formation. "Who gave him the talisman?" Kang family leader asked the Kang family elder through gritted teeth. "It's the ancestor. Kang Chi is often trapped by his own formations. The ancestor was worried, so he gave him these talismans." The elder of the Kang family said in a message. The head of the Kang family took a deep breath and said through a message, "I remember, isn't Kang Chi still a swordsman? Go back and find a sword master to teach him." The Kang family no longer wants to train this weird formation mage. But when Kang Chi's method of breaking the formation was carried out for the 3rd time, he was stopped. The main reason is that this method is too slow and the old monsters can't wait. Because the light pillars in the sky dimmed one after another. This means that something is changing in the world. And they also sense the power of many great avenues approaching. They suspect that the great consciousnesses in other worlds also want the treasures in this world. The treasure that even the Tao consciousness is thinking about must be a treasure that can change the rules of the world. This is exactly the treasure they need. Within the world. Devouring consciousness called Feng Qing ran excitedly, "Ha ha ha, Master Feng, come here quickly. I found a lot of fragments, as well as heavenly materials and earthly treasures." Feng Qingran took the loyalty goo and quickly rushed to the loyalty goo. "Master Phoenix, you go directly into the formation. I have eliminated all dangers in the Tongshan formation. It is because of this that I delayed the time and kept you waiting for a long time. Swallow, it's good to have you." After Feng Qingran praised, she and loyalty goo stepped into the sky-reaching formation. The moment Feng Qingran stepped into the formation, her body fell forward uncontrollably. And where she hit it, a sharp-edged stone happened to roll over. Feng Qingran wanted to hide, but found that she couldn't control her body at all. Finally, he hit the stone hard. The loyalty goo also flew out of her body and hit the ground. "Oh, it hurts Grandpa to death, what the hell?" Loyalty goo cried out in pain. Feng Qingran couldn't care less about the loyalty goo. She felt severe pain on her forehead. When she raised her hand and touched it, she found a big bump and bleeding. Feng Qingran was speechless for a moment. An accident like falling would actually happen to her. Feng Qingran looked at the fiery red stone and felt the rich aura of Tao origin. The origin of Tao. Not quite right either. Whatever it is, it should be good. Feng Qingran picked it up and threw it into the space treasure house. Only then did she remember Loyalty Goo and found that the other party was lying there motionless. "Loyalty, what's wrong with you?" "Loyalty Goo, Phoenix Master, if I say that I reached my waist, will you believe it?" "I believe. As outrageous things as wrestling can happen, what else can't happen?" "Phoenix Master, I feel that devouring has deceived you. This heaven-reaching formation is full of dangers." Loyalty Goo immediately complained. "It shouldn't be it might be related to those fragments." Feng Qingran expressed his guess. She finally discovered that every creature that enters this world is unlucky. "Loyalty, you go back to space to recuperate." The next road turned out exactly as Feng Qingran expected. Sometimes she tripped for no apparent reason, sometimes she was hit by something falling from the sky, and sometimes she couldn't control herself and fell forward. The speed of unexpected events overwhelmed her. "Master Phoenix, how about I pick you up? I'm worried that if the delay continues, someone from the Taoist lineage will come in." When she heard this message, she immediately had a bad feeling. The next moment, a big hole was opened in the world barrier, and countless terrifying auras descended into the world. "Master Phoenix, oh no, there are many powerful Taoists coming. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore." Chapter 15:04 Wait and see what happens. The corners of Feng Qingran's mouth twitched. Ever since she entered this world, she had been speechless a lot. "Master Feng, don't worry, they are all clones, their realm will be suppressed, and there's a great formation to the sky, they don't dare to do anything easily." A comforting voice that swallowed the consciousness passed into Feng Qingran's sea of consciousness. Feng Qingran walked forward expressionlessly. The problem is not big. With the rules of bad luck, no one can avoid accidents. Those old monsters really didn't act rashly after entering the world. They both want that treasure. At this moment, they have a lot to guard against, so they won't attack at will. After the Kang family leader followed the old monsters into the world, he did not immediately care about the treasure. Instead, he ordered the family disciples to find the ancestor. He and several Kang elders stayed behind the old monster and waited to see what happened. The other forces' attention was also focused on the Tongshan formation, and few of them noticed that many of the Kang family's children had left. All the strong men stepped into the air and stood up. From their position, they could only see the light pillars in the sky reaching formation soaring into the sky. They tried to detect the situation inside the formation, but they couldn't find out. It's strange. This world is so full of death. Will there really be treasures? Isn't it a trap? Do you feel that something is not right with the laws of this world? This world is almost collapsing, and there is no spiritual energy. What kind of treasures will appear in such a world? I remember that the reason why this world was abandoned was probably because of Schwanman. Back then many old monsters suddenly showed sad expressions when they heard these hesitant words. However, that expression passed quickly. Then they looked towards the Tongshan formation, showing their eyes that they were determined to win. Back then, because they were not strong enough, they allowed outsiders to harm so many worlds and harm countless living beings. Even later, they were unable to take revenge. I can only watch Schwanman leave. The hatred between them and the mysterious master is forever engraved in their souls and is indelible. Since the Schwanj left, they have been in seclusion. They want to improve their strength and seek revenge from the Schwanman. But for some unknown reason, they have never been able to break through to the higher realm. Now this treasure that all Dao conscious minds want to obtain must be their opportunity. They no longer care about why the treasure appears. An old monster looked at all the forces, and a mighty voice sounded, "You are not allowed to enter the great array, do you understand?" In an instant, the aura of terror spread to the entire world. All the cultivators present could not breathe. No matter how unwilling they were, they could not muster the strength to resist. We, the younger generation of the Kang family, will not enter the Tongshan formation. The head of the Kang family was the first to express his position. The same goes for the juniors of the Bailey family. The same goes for the juniors of the G family. Ellipsis. The old monsters didn't react much when they heard this. These juniors are not allowed to enter the Tongshan formation, firstly, to avoid casualties, secondly, of course, to reduce competition, and thirdly, for fear of outsiders mixing in. The outsiders did leave back then. But no one can guarantee that they have all left. After the coercion disappeared and the auras of those old monsters were completely hidden, many leaders of the forces were satisfied and said, "Why don't we let us fight for it? They just want to monopolize it. HMPH, a bunch of old monsters are actually competing for resources with juniors like us. How embarrassing. What's the use of complaining now? Why didn't you say anything just now? That's not something we can get in the first place. It's better to withdraw early. Even if we get the treasure that can awaken the consciousness of all the worlds, it's just a reminder. We might as well watch the show on the sidelines. Instead of worrying about the treasure, let's think about how to find the outsider. By the way, Kang family master, where are you Kang family children?" Only then did many forces realize that the number of Kang people was wrong. The head of the Kang family said expressionlessly, "I don't know." After Kang family master finished his response, he remembered to contact Kang Shi. After Kang Shi contacted the head of the Kang family, he said excitedly, "Master, the descendants of the Phoenix clan have returned. The other party is not an outsider. Please find a way to withdraw the killing order." The head of the Kang family originally wanted to ask about ancestor Kangyun. I was shocked when I heard the news. Where is the descendant of the Phoenix clan? Tell her to hide her whereabouts and don't reveal her whereabouts. Kang family leader said worriedly. I don't know where she is. I began to think she was an outsider, and I misunderstood her as a mysterious person. Kang Shi said this, feeling slightly guilty. If you doubt who the mysterious person is, you must not doubt the younger generation of the Phoenix clan. Then I probably know where she is. By the way, how is the ancestor? Kang family had sent a message to ask. Kang Shi glanced at Patriarch Kangyun, who closed his eyes tightly as if he was asleep, and hesitantly sent a message, "Master, Patriarch has not responded, and I don't know what his condition is." When Kang family master heard Kang's eyes words, a dark light flashed in his eyes, and he sent a message, "Has the ancestor been stuck in the deduction state for a long time?" Correct. When Patriarch Kang received such an answer, his eyes became darker. The longer Patriarch Kangyun deduced, the greater the backlash would be. There is no response now, it's just that it hasn't arrived yet. There are so many pairs of eyes staring here, and the ancestor's condition may not be hidden. The head of the Kang family called Kang Chi and sent a message to Kang Chi. "Kang Chi, hurry up and put up defensive formations around the ancestor. The more the better, only the ancestor can come out by himself, and no one else can get in. That kind of thing." Kang Chi just happened to find Kang Shi at this moment. As soon as he saw the formation around ancestor Kangyun, his eyes showed a look of obsession. Wonderful. It can be like this, why didn't I think of it? Kang Shi on the side was completely ignored. Kang Chi has already begun to study the Great Formation. Kang Shi, what is Kang Chi doing? Kang family leader's message sounded in Kang Shi's sea of consciousness. "Master, he is studying the formation." Kang Shi responded. "As long as Kang Chi is obsessed with the formation, you won't hear anyone's words, let alone respond. Keep an eye on him." The head of the Kang family breathed a sigh of relief when he heard that Kang Chi was studying the formation. The defensive array, which gives even old monsters a headache, is more than enough to stop these bastards. The purpose is to give Bailey family and G family some peace of mind first. Younger of the Feng clan, are you sure? Don't be fake again, the experience back then was painful enough. The attitude of the head of Bailey family was very cold and full of doubts about this. The head of the G family replied, Xuan should not dare to pretend to be a descendant of the Phoenix clan anymore. After all, the Xuanmen also paid a huge price after that incident. Hey, it would be great if Ling Yun was still here. Why are we so aggrieved? Ling Yun must have led us to kill Xuanmen long ago. What a pity. Yes, if Sister Ling Yun is still here, our G family won't have a home that we can't return to. Who said we weren't strong enough at the time? If we had been strong enough at the time, we wouldn't have watched Ling Yun face danger alone. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 1505 A bit unlucky. Patriarch Kang found that the conversation between Patriarch Bailey and Patriarch Ji had changed drastically. The head of the Kang family reminded through a message, "You two, we should first determine whether the other party is a descendant of the Feng family. If so, it is best to conceal her whereabouts, otherwise other forces will be concerned about her." The head of the Bailey clan said angrily, "HMPH. How dare they? If anyone dares to touch the descendants of the Feng clan, I will make them taste life worse than death." The head of the Ji family said in a cold voice, "It would be too easy for them to live or die, so it would be better to just let them die. After all, as long as you are alive, it is a kind of enjoyment. You two, the other party is in this small world, why don't we find the other party first?" However, the head of the Bailey family still focused on his own voice and said, "Ling Yun was too kind back then and allowed Xuanzhe to take advantage of her. This time, whoever dares to touch her descendants, I will make them completely eliminated." The head of the Ji family agreed, "Yes, whoever touches the younger generation of the Phoenix clan will make them extinct." Kang family leader. Two psychos. As if he doesn't exist, right? The head of the Kang family decided to show off. According to what Kang Shi said, that Feng clan Jr. is capable. Let's wait and see what happens. Those old monsters have entered the Tongshan formation. They just went in separately. What's the fuss? I'm just curious about what the treasure is. Who knows, we can't follow. There is a barrier in that area and we can't open it at all. When many powerful people talked about this, their eyes showed envy, jealousy, and a few twinkling eyes. After the old monsters entered the Tongshan formation, they were in a state of panic. Originally they were all Taoist cultivators of the immortal style. Even if they don't know how many years they have lived, many old monsters still look young, handsome, and full of fairy spirit. But once they entered the Tongshan formation, everything changed drastically. A monk with an elegant posture was thrown into a trap. Just where he fell, a black thing rolled over. "Ha ha ha, King Izzy, I really didn't expect, fuck." When he was halfway laughing, he heard a stab sound. Suddenly she felt a chill in her buttocks. She turned around and saw a man lying behind her, holding some strips of cloth in his hand. When an old monster saw these two scenes, he shook his head and said, "Absurd. You were really..." However, the next moment, he felt something fall into his mouth. Unable to control himself, he swallowed it. The old monster's face suddenly turned red. What did he just swallow? At this point, other old monsters also noticed something was wrong and became cautious. Click. Ouch. My waist. A white-haired old monster held his waist with one hand and touched his head with the other. He just took a step forward and something hit him. He wanted to destroy things with a flick of his sleeves, but then his waist twisted and his head was hit anyway. Outrageous. Leaving a big spectrum. Even if he is a clone, he still has the peak cultivation level of the Lord of the Universe. Everyone, don't move for now. There is something strange about this sky-reaching formation. After we enter the formation, we may have been affected by the formation. An old monster reminded. Have you noticed that we are a little unlucky? Another young-looking old monster said. There must be something weird about the treasure that is about to be born. It's not a problem for us to stop here. If it's really something that the Tao consciousness is targeting, if we give up. There is no boundary tree in the universe, and all the avenue consciousnesses have been destroyed long ago. Only those few avenue consciousnesses are normal. But if they hadn't obtained the treasure, the situation in the universe would have been even worse. The old monsters looked at each other in shock when they heard this. In that war that year, if the Phoenix clan hadn't appeared in time to turn the tide, change the laws of the universe in time, and change the world structure of all parties, there would be no such thing as them in the entire universe today. How could there be the living world now? No matter what, we can't let the Tao consciousness of the death world get the treasure. We can't always count on the Phoenix clan to save us. Yes, this is our universe, and we should work hard ourselves. We only know the truth about what happened back then, and we remember the hatred clearly, so this difficulty is nothing compared to the humiliation back then. The old monsters heard this and began to move forward. So what if you fall? So what if something happens? This is nothing. Fang Qingran went through all kinds of bumps and finally reached the position of devouring consciousness. A square composed of a huge circular formation. The square is suspended in midair. To go up, you have to climb 1,000 steps. Each step is engraved with unique ancient inscriptions. Master Phoenix, please hurry up. There are many lore fragments embedded in the formation platform. By the way, the death curse is on the first step of the formation platform. I have already lifted it. Devouring consciousness flew to Fang Qingran and said excitedly. Fang Qingran wanted to fly up the steps, but found that she couldn't do it. It's not that the power is imprisoned. There is simply no way to get up there. Fang Qingran narrowed her eyes slightly and summoned the law control order. The moment the token appeared, light appeared on the formation platform. The rules and regulations order also exudes a halo. Then, Fang Qingran felt the law control order move. It landed behind Fang Qingran, trying to push her up. You can't fly up, Fang Qingran said, holding the token in her backhand. Fang Qingran saw the movement of the token and understood. Swallow, do you know what those fragments are? Fang Qingran asked. Swallowing consciousness said, Master Phoenix, I did a search and I only know a few of them, including major disasters, serious illnesses, tribulations, evil, bad luck. When devouring consciousness thought about bad luck, it seemed like he had realized something. So these law fragments all have negative effects. Devouring consciousness suddenly panicked, Master Phoenix, why don't we leave? It's better not to touch these things. But the law command order was anxious. It jumped up and down in front of Fang Qingran, as if it wanted to express something. Fang Qingran raised her hand and sent the token back to the space. Whatever I want to get, it is a part of the world and is indispensable. But, Master Phoenix, there is another law above that seems to be numbers, so it is easy to double the bad luck. If there are other dark elements added together, I am afraid your merits will not be able to suppress it. Swallowing consciousness has some regrets. It was just enjoying itself, thinking it had found the treasure. It was born in darkness and is no longer afraid of the erosion of darkness and bad luck. But Lord Phoenix is a cultivator. The ascetics are the most taboo about these laws. Fang Qingran picked up the little black dumpling and put it gently on her shoulder. Shuohua, how about you go up with me? Swallowing his big eyes open, he was confused for a long time, and finally said with tears in his eyes, Master Phoenix, don't worry, I will always be here, and I will protect you. At this moment, a cyan mark appeared between Fang Qingran's eyebrows. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 1506, Double the Bad Luck, additional update. Fang Qingran looked upward firmly. No matter how difficult the road is, she will never give up. Behind her, there are countless fellow Taoists who need her and are waiting for her. What she wants to do is not simply reversing time. She must have the power to look back in time and space, and the power to erase cause and effect. As long as the laws of this world exist, they must have their own meaning. If they're used well, they will definitely become a help. Fang Qingran took the first step. The scene in front of me suddenly changed. The night is dark and windy. She holds a sword and stands on the edge of the cliff. Opposite her was a group of monks pointing swords at her. Fang Qingran, how can you be so vicious? You were obviously the one who pushed Junior Sister Su, and yet you are still making excuses here. You are so stubborn, you. The monk who spoke widened his eyes and fell down in disbelief. Fang Qingran's eyes were indifferent. This is the memory of her first life, when she and Su Yanran entered the Tianjin sect together. Su Yanran was injured while performing a sect mission, so the disciples inexplicably targeted her. At that time, she was weak and felt extremely aggrieved in the face of many accusations. Looking back now, I feel nothing. But the scene before her also made her aware. Even if she goes back in time and changes the experience of tragic death in those lifetimes, she still cannot erase the traces of its existence. Fang Qingran's eyes darkened slightly, and with a wave of the long sword in his hand, the illusion was shattered. Irrelevant people are not worth your time. Fang Qingran did not encounter any illusions during the next dozen steps. Master Phoenix, those old monsters are coming, we have to speed up. Devouring consciousness reminded. Fang Qingran nodded and saw extremely embarrassed figures from the corner of his eye. There is no decency as a monk at all. This has nothing to do with their strength. It's all because of these law fragments. Contained within these fragments is the most primitive and pure power of law. Tao is constructed from thousands of laws. In a sense, ascetics are controlled by the law. Those old monsters were overjoyed and finally arrived at the treasure land. As a result, they saw Fang Qingran standing on the steps, everyone's eyes looking horrified. After seeing clearly Fang Qingran's cultivation level, they became suspicious again. She is sure she only has the cultivation level of the Master of Creation, right? An old monster was not very confident. Mainly because of the outrageous experience just now, he was a little dizzy at the moment. She seems to be the creator of the world with the aura of Daojin. She won't be the tester of the treasure for us, right? It's really possible. A creator lord shouldn't be able to get in. Then how do we get her approval? Idiot, didn't she set an example? She must have climbed the stairs. I'm worried that if I'm halfway up, I'll roll down inexplicably. He tried many methods to cure his injured waist. Then we have to climb. This must be the final test. We've come here, wouldn't it be a shame to give up? Don't forget our image outside. Do you want to leave like this? When the old monsters heard this, they all shook their heads. A woman with a cold temperament and wearing a purple robe stepped up the steps first. The pace is slow. Elegant posture. It wasn't until the woman reached the second level that the remaining old monsters stepped onto the steps cautiously. Fortunately, most of them are normal. It may also be that the bad luck has been exhausted before. There are exceptions. Boom. An old monster knocked on the steps. 2 more white things flew out. What the hell? The old monster's words were a bit leaky. It turned out that the front tooth was knocked out. The old monsters suppressed their laughter and continued upward. Fang Qingran was not interested in anything that happened behind her. She felt like she was trapped in a strange world. Looking down at the sky and the earth, corpses are everywhere. Entering the world, I saw faces filled with pain. I want to take action to save the people, but I am unable to change. Wherever you look, it's like purgatory on earth. Ellipsis. Each scene is extremely depressing. Fang Qingran felt her heart clenching together. Are these sufferings that she has never experienced before? Are they real, or are they just a figment of fantasy? How can she save them? No matter what, she can definitely save them. Fang Qingran felt a dazzling light flash in front of her eyes. She was out of the illusion. Fang Qingran was slightly surprised. This time she didn't take action at all. Why did she come out? Master Fang, they're about to follow. Swallowing consciousness reminded him when he saw Fang Qingran wake up. Swallow, how long has it been? Master Phoenix, you have been in the fantasy realm for a month. Fang Qingran heard this and walked forward. Little fellow Taoist, a voice sounded behind Fang Qingran. Fang Qingran just looked back and saw that they were 5 or 6 steps behind her. After Fang Qingran finished reading, he bowed slightly, turned around and continued going up. She is a cultivator, definitely not a tester, an old monster said firmly. I would rather she be a tester. Why? We, a group of us, can't compare to someone else's little kid who lives a long life. If word spreads, we will lose our face and dignity. Looking at her calm look, did she know what the treasure above is? The old monsters were talking as they went up. The tests they faced were obviously not as many as Fang Qingran's. Only the steps suppressed them. As for the illusion, only a few old monsters have encountered it. At this time, an old monster hesitated and said, I remember that the Kang family seems to be killing outsiders in this world. Couldn't she be the outsider? As soon as these words came out, many old monsters' eyes turned cold and they cast a scrutinizing look at Fang Qingbran. She has no breath of this universe. She is really an outsider, kill her. In an instant, countless terrifying attacks fell on Fang Qingbran. Master Phoenix, they have gone too far. Devouring Consciousness said angrily. Fang Qingbran immediately sent the swallowing consciousness back to the consciousness space, turned around and sat cross-legged, removing all protective barriers. The 6 paths of reincarnation disc began to operate silently. It just so happened that it was time for her to advance in some ways, so she might as well take advantage of this opportunity. Master Phoenix, please be careful, swallowing consciousness said anxiously. When the old monster saw Fang Qingbran reacting like this, he immediately became confused. What is she just going to do? No, there must be a scam. How can any outsider wait for death so calmly? Is she the tester? When several voices sounded, it was too late for everyone to take back the power. Those powers fell on Fang Qingbran. Suddenly, Fang Qingbran's body collapsed and blood spurted out. The steps where she stood were bright red. When the old monsters saw this scene, they were shocked and horrified. Does she want to practice Taoism at this time? The old monsters fell silent, and no one took action again. After a long time, an old monster said, her crazy behavior reminds me of her. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 1507 Regret. HMPH, how can an outsider be compared with her? An old monster with messy hair said disdainfully. Then his eyes changed, revealing a look of respect. She was invincible back then. Even the Taoist master had to avoid her sharp edges. If she hadn't spent so much energy on creating the world, how could she have been able to jump up and down in the Taoist master's turn? Most of the old monsters had complicated expressions when they heard these words. Of course, they were able to survive from the end of the prehistoric era, all because of her. She has a reinvented relationship with them. And they didn't even have a chance to take revenge on her. We could only watch the group of invaders leave in a swaggering manner. The invaders left without taking the hatred with them. They hate foreign invaders even more. When the juniors gradually grew up and were able to take charge of the world, they completely disappeared and spent all their time practicing. Only by becoming stronger can we seek revenge from the mysterious masters and destroy the mysterious masters in this universe. They have lived for endless years, so long that they have forgotten how old they are, but they have not forgotten those bloody feuds. There is some hatred that today's younger generations don't understand. The younger generation who have not grown up and know too much will easily affect the Taoist mind. Over the years, many younger people have grown up in the revenge team, so there are many more young faces in the group of old monsters. Who are you talking about? A woman with a pure face asked curiously. An old woman said, she is the creator and savior of our universe, the leader of the Feng family, the leader of the Feng family, Feng Lingyun. Another haggard old man said with admiration, she is a role model for all us ascetics. She truly takes the world as her own responsibility and is upright and upright. Yes, she is the representative of Haran's righteousness, and no one can compare with her. Many young and old monsters were shocked when they heard this. Then why is there no Phoenix clan in our universe? She is so powerful, her descendants shouldn't be inferior, right? A young ascetic asked in confusion. Originally there were, but they left. No one knows where they have gone or when they will come back. Will they come back? I will definitely do it, and I will definitely come back. Then if the descendants of the Phoenix clan come back, will you recognize them? A woman with a cold and outstanding temperament asked. Of course, the younger generation of the Phoenix clan has a special soul mark. You can know it by detecting the other person's aura. Who would check the opponent's soul mark as soon as they come up? The young man cursed in his heart, but when he spoke, he said, what if the descendants of the Phoenix clan are treated as outsiders? An old man with messy hair said, the descendants of the Phoenix clan, no matter which universe they go to, will never become outsiders. They have special marks on their bodies and will not be rejected by the Tao. Of course, there are exceptions to those universes invaded by Xuanmen. The mysterious master of Xuanmen has something called the Mother of Decay. He can use this thing to pollute the avenue and change the rules of the universe. Although the situation in our universe is too complicated, the Great Tao will never target the younger generations of the Phoenix clan. What does the Phoenix clan's mark look like? The woman with the cold temperament asked again. Many old monsters shook their heads. We don't know what the mark looks like, but if we encounter it, we will definitely feel it. However, the women of the Feng tribe love red clothes because their personalities are often enthusiastic and unrestrained. The old monsters were talking. Feng Qingbran's body exuded a gleaming light, and power circulated around her. Is it possible that she is a descendant of the Phoenix clan? A woman with round cheeks asked timidly. Everyone knew who she was asking, so they all looked at Feng Qingbran. They had explored Feng Qingbran's soul before, but it was blocked by an inexplicable force. Now Feng Qingbran's life hangs on a thread, and the power that shielded them has disappeared. In an instant, many old monsters began to tremble, their eyes showing horror and regret. She actually has the aura of the Phoenix clan on her body. Plop. An old monster knelt down and said regretfully, what on earth did I just do? Plop. Another old monster kneels down. I actually wanted to kill the younger generation of the Phoenix clan. No, I've already killed him. The old monsters knelt down one after another. Only a few were still standing, and they had not attacked Feng Qingbran just now. The old monsters who knelt down looked at Feng Qingbran on the stage, hesitantly. Why are we so impulsive? They thought the other party was an outsider. She can't die. The younger generation of the Phoenix clan must not die. Find a way to save her. As a result, countless old monsters activated their magic techniques to give Feng Qingbran life. Others used special secret methods to repair her injuries. There are even some people who want to use forbidden techniques to give their longevity to Feng Qingbran. What do you want to do? Using forbidden techniques will make her bear the karma. She is still a little baby, how can she withstand the karma of the Taoist? An accusation sounded. The old monsters stopped immediately. Fang Qingran, on the other hand, is trying to break through and has reached a critical moment. As a result, just when she was about to make a breakthrough, something unexpected happened. Countless powers poured into her body to repair her body, but also interrupted her promotion. Fang Qingran frowned slightly. What's going on? Those old monsters obviously had no intention of holding back the killing moves against her. She should be able to use these powers to complete a breakthrough. Could it be the fault of the law of bad luck? Fang Qingran could only give up practicing Taoism and use those powers to improve her realm. When her cultivation reached the peak of creation, she stopped. The avenue here was abnormal, so she had better not break through yet. How come her cultivation only increased by 1 level? With so much power entering her body, her realm should at least reach the peak of the Origin Lord. You also gave her so much power. Hundreds of old monsters asked this question at the same time. They looked at each other and suddenly panicked. Oops, the power must be too huge for her to absorb. No, we have to help her channel her power quickly, otherwise she will definitely explode and die. Ha, that's not right. There seems to be no problem with the power in her body. How is this possible? So much power entered the body, where did it go? The old monsters stopped and looked at each other. They also couldn't figure it out. The power in Fang Qingran's body was very stable, without any accumulation. It was obvious that it had been absorbed completely. Are all the creators outside so strong? The way we block the universe, doesn't it delay the cultivation of the younger generations? If this continues, we will definitely not be able to defeat the mysterious master. No, I feel like we need to make changes. Her behavior should have nothing to do with the creator of the world. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 1508 We like to kneel. Fang Qingran opened her eyes and found a group of old monsters kneeling on the ground, making a huge noise. There were a few standing. But they also seemed to be slightly hunched over. Fang Qingran's eyes were confused and she looked down. Didn't he want to kill her just now? Why are you all kneeling down to her now? She's awake, a surprised voice sounded. Everyone immediately looked at Fang Qingran, their eyes burning, as if they were looking at a piece of cake. For a moment, Fang Qingran didn't know what to say. The eyes of these old monsters are a little too eager. Little fellow Taoist, are you okay? Little fellow Taoist, I just thought you were an outsider and that's why you did that. Little fellow Taoist, if you're fine, just do it. I won't climb this step anymore, so don't worry. Some old monsters have no problem with this. Their lives were saved by the Fang clan, so naturally they shouldn't compete with the younger ones of the Fang clan. There were also some younger ones who looked at Fang Qingran curiously. Fang Qingran hesitated slightly and said, Seniors, what are you doing? An old man with messy hair said, Fellow Taoist, we have a deep hatred for outsiders, which causes us to lose our minds when we see outsiders. What just happened was our fault. If you are angry, come back as soon as possible. We will not resist. We were all rescued by the Phoenix clan back then, but we killed you just now, so even if you kill us, you won't bear the consequences. Fang Qingran finally understood what happened. Then why are you kneeling? Fang Qingran asked. To my little fellow Taoist. Before one of the old monsters finished speaking, another old monster took over and said, we like to kneel. The old monster sent a message to everyone, don't burden the little fellow Taoist. The corners of Fang Qingran's mouth twitched. Seniors, the steps are quite hard. You'd better get up. She knew the depth of their words, but she really didn't blame them. After hearing this, the old monsters stood up one after another, and then looked at Fang Qingran with smiles. Seniors, how did you know that I am a descendant of the Phoenix clan? The Phoenix clan's aura is special and can be sensed. The old monsters answered all their questions. Fang Qingran asked seriously, Seniors, can you tell me the grievances between you and outsiders? Some young and old monsters also showed curiosity when they heard Fang Qingran's words. They heard these old monsters talk about the past grudges. But they always feel that what they heard is not the whole truth. Now facing the younger generation of the Phoenix clan, these old monsters should tell the truth. Some of the grey-haired old monsters looked at each other. One of the old ladies said, Young fellow Taoist, if you want to hear it, it's okay for us to tell it to you. It's just that it's a long story. To prevent accidents, my little fellow Taoist should get the treasure first, and we will inform you in detail later. Little fellow Taoist, just go up, we will support you below. After hearing this, Fang Qingran stood up and saluted the old monster below. Thank you all seniors for your support, but I feel that this step should be good for you, so you should continue to climb up. After Fang Qingran finished speaking, she said no more, turned around and started to climb up. The law fragments must belong to her. But these steps are ultimately composed of the power of laws, and the insights each step brings are rare. Yes, let's go up together, how can we fall behind so much? A stooped old monster shouted before going up. Click. The old monster froze on the spot. He got on too fast and his leg was broken. He sat on the floor in embarrassment. Hey, I'm old, it's time for you young people to live in the world. Come on, I'll wait below. All the old monsters gave him strange looks. Several haggard old monsters with a short lifespan also sat down immediately. This place is too evil. They still stopped joining in the fun. Hey, I have realized something. This step seems to increase my understanding of the law, said a person who climbed 3 steps in a row. Unlucky, I'm a little unlucky, but I feel like I'm about to have an epiphany, said an old man who lost 2 front teeth. Me too, even though my waist is twisted, my strength has increased. Many old monsters talked about the benefits they got after being unlucky. This discussion. Everyone discovered that bad luck and good luck are connected. Always maintained at a balanced level. Fang Qingran smiled when she heard the movement behind her. What a lovely group of ascetics. Master Phoenix, they really don't care about the things above. It's so strange. Why? The small black dumpling formed by swallowing it fell on Fang Qingran's shoulder, and he asked extremely curiously. Maybe there is something more precious than treasure that is worth holding on to, Fang Qingran said warmly. Seeing such a cute old monster made me feel much better. But Master Phoenix, according to the examples I have seen before, there must be fraud in such situations. Are they deliberately taking advantage of you? Master Phoenix, do they want to fatten you up and then kill you? Or maybe they want to use you to lure out more treasures. Devour conducted a conspiracy analysis. It searched those memories anyway. The behavior of these old monsters is called showing courtesy for nothing, committing adultery or stealing. Unbelievable. Brother Hong Mangshu is asleep now. The great burden of taking care of the Phoenix Master falls on it. It cannot let Phoenix Master be greatly deceived. Swallow, there are some treacherous cultivators and some loyal ones. I can tell that they treat me sincerely. Fang Qingran reassured. She had probably guessed that the Phoenix clan was kind to this group of cultivators. They're so repulsive to outsiders and Taoism. She wanted to believe them. Master Phoenix, is it true? The memory I read said that humans are always good at pretending, so you must be cautious when encountering one. You really have to be careful, but there are good and bad people. As long as you can distinguish the good from the bad, you can make the right choice. After Fang Qingran said this, he went to another level. Suddenly, the scene in front of her changed again. In a sealed void. There was nothingness all around, and it was hard to tell where he was. Fang Qingran released his spiritual consciousness, but could not detect the breath of any living beings. He only felt that the entire void was filled with a strange sense of depression. As time goes by, the feeling of depression becomes more and more intense. Fang Qingran found that space seemed to be compressing. She could feel that the space was getting smaller and smaller. Fang Qingran raised his hand and launched an attack towards the edge of the void. However, her power was like a mud cow entering the sea, without arousing any reaction. She moved towards the edge of the void, but it seemed like she could never get close to the edge. No matter what method she uses, she is always in the middle of the space, and the feeling of oppression is getting stronger and stronger. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 1509, Void Dream Space, Additional Update. As time went by, Fang Qingran found that her power was gradually decreasing. Fang Qingran raised his wrist and the god-killing spear appeared. She was about to stab the edge of the void with her god-killing spear. Phoenix Master, no, you can't escape from this empty dream space with strength. God-killing spear reminded. God-killer, do you know how to get out? Fang Qingran asked. The god-killing spear said, Master Fang, I don't know much about this. You can actually ask Fang Jingyu. I remember she seemed to have mentioned this dimension. Fang Qingran's eyes darkened slightly, but before she could make a move, Fang Jingyu appeared in front of her. Fang Qingran took back the god-killing spear. Fang Jingyu took the initiative and said, Sister Fang, the void dream space is a special illusion array. This illusion array is constructed based on the cultivator himself. If you want to break this phantom formation, you must find out the reason why the phantom formation formed. The most difficult thing about the void dream space is to discover the cause of its formation. When the dream space is formed, the memories captured are often memories that the ascetics themselves cannot detect. Especially for those with seals on their bodies, it will be more difficult to get out of this illusion. If the reason for the formation of the illusion cannot be found, then those who enter the formation may be trapped here forever, until the ascetic's body strength is exhausted and the soul dies. To form a void dream space, the conditions are extremely demanding. As long as there is a slight deviation, the organizer will suffer backlash. If those who enter the formation successfully break the formation, those who set up the formation will also suffer backlash. After Fang Qingran listened to Fang Jingyu's words, her eyes were slightly cold. The Tao Master still needed her to collect the fragments. This evil formation must not have been arranged by the Tao Master. A thought flashed through Fang Qingran's consciousness, Xiao Jingyu, if my soul is trapped here, can my body be taken away from me? Only the person who set up the formation can touch your body. Fang Jingyu replied. Fang Qingran's lips curved slightly when she heard this, then she knew who set up the formation. Wanted her body. The only ones who dare to put together laws such as catastrophe and catastrophe are probably the Witch Clan. Since they are the Witch Clan, use their own methods to deal with them. Fang Qingran flipped his wrist, and Quan Chong's staff appeared. As Quan Chong's staff dances, a complex totem forms. Fang Qingran quickly put a mark that was uniquely hers on the totem. A lifelike black snake shadow formed. The black snake's cold snake eyes stared at Fang Qingran. There is a colorful lotus mark on the black snake's forehead. The mark suppressed the black snake, preventing it from making any movements. Sister Fang, have you remembered the totem? Fang Jingyu was slightly surprised. The last time I drew a totem at Sister Fang, I had to keep staring at it before I could draw it. Fang Qingran nodded, well, ever since I swallowed the consciousness of the death curse, I have remembered the totem and never forgotten it again. Fang Jingyu showed curiosity. Sister Fang, your way of swallowing is very different from Dongji's. I feel that Sister Fang's way of swallowing will definitely bring you more surprises. Ah. After Fang Qingran finished speaking, he used Quan Chong's staff to control the black snake to rush towards the edge of the void. In an instant, the void shook. Just no cracks appeared. The black snake also disappeared. Fang Jingyu was shocked when she saw this. Fang Qingran didn't waste any time and once again drew a black snake and attacked towards the edge of the void. After a few times, a crack appeared in the boundary of the void. Fang Jingyu looked at the cracks, and some images flashed across her consciousness. She seemed to have been in a void and dream space. It's just that there are many strong people in the space she is in, and they're surrounding him, seeming to be fighting for something. Click. The sound of the crack boundary collapsing was heard. Fang Jingyu has returned to the void space. Fang Qingran also left the void dream space. As soon as Fang Qingran opened her eyes, she met many pairs of concerned eyes. There were already many old monsters on the same steps as her, but they all stopped instead of going up. Little fellow Taoist, are you okay? It's okay, thank you for your concern, senior. Little fellow Taoist, I see you have to stop at every step. Is it too much pressure? Fang Qingran's eyes flashed slightly when she heard this. Didn't they encounter the test of the illusion? Little fellow Taoist, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Being able to enter the Tongshan formation at your age is already very impressive. What are you talking nonsense about? My fellow Taoist is just tired and wants to take a rest. It's not as complicated as you think. Little fellow Taoist, there is no need to rush. Take your time, we will be with you. Fang Qingran didn't need to explain at all. Some old monsters who knew what was going on had already made excuses for her. Thank you, seniors. Fang Qingran thanked him and continued upward. Fang Qingran felt that all the pressure on her from the steps had disappeared, leaving only the test of the steps. Every time she enters a fantasy world, everyone will wait patiently for her to come out. When she walked up the 991 steps, the pressure appeared again. Many old monsters looked at each other. Their strength was suppressed and they could no longer help Fang Qingran. It was also at this time. The old monsters sitting below stood up and looked towards the void in the sky. They noticed that the aura of the avenue was approaching here. The atmosphere is mixed. Dark Avenue accounts for the majority. Strange, why do these avenue consciousnesses appear now? An old man said using regional sound transmission. I'm afraid they've already entered here, why don't they come to snatch the treasure? What do you think the thing on top of the steps is? I don't know, but I feel it's something related to the law, otherwise these avenue consciousnesses wouldn't appear. Is there something on that stage that they're afraid of? Otherwise, why don't they get up there? You must have noticed, right? Little friend Fang is different from others when he climbs the steps. Indeed, little friend Fang has test levels, but most people don't. So, I suspect that the treasure on the stage has recognized little friend Fang, and only little friend Fang can get it. These Dao consciousnesses are probably waiting for the opportunity. Do they still want to attack little friend Fang? The old monsters were silent for a moment, and then a vague voice sounded, they're Dao consciousness, but they're no longer the real Dao consciousness. Have you forgotten the greedy world tree? Back then, this universe had bounded trees. It's just that for some reason, that world tree actually gave birth to the same 7 emotions and 6 desires as humans. So it no longer protects the world, it just wants to control the universe. That boundary tree allows the emergence of strong men. But no strong person is allowed to cross it. The world tree is a place of vitality in the universe. It is also the key to the smooth development of a universe. After it develops a greedy heart, it should transform and no longer occupy the position of the boundary tree. But it doesn't want to change shape. Transforming means that it can no longer control the laws of the universe. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 15:10 Greedy World Tree, Golden Ticket 1. Once the boundary tree takes shape, a new boundary tree will appear to replace it. The boundary tree did not want to be replaced, so it delayed its transformation. And in order to prevent the ascetics from discovering its clues, the boundary tree controls the great Tao consciousness of the universe. Anyone who wants to cross the great Tao thunder tribulation must choose to surrender to the boundary tree and become its puppet. If you dare to refuse it, it will be the end of your body and soul. In order to survive, many monks still signed a surrender contract with the boundary tree. In this way, the world tree controlled the powerful and successfully controlled the universe. Finally, it controls those strong people to find the boundary tree of the weak universe to increase its strength. The greedy behavior of the world tree caused many universes to collapse and die. It also brought disaster to this universe. Greedy world tree. Every time a world tree is destroyed, it will control one more avenue of consciousness. Some avenue consciousness world trees did not devour each other for some unknown reason. Instead, he chose to use these avenues to replace the way of heaven in the small world. In this way, the heavenly ways of the entire universe disappeared and turned into the great road. The way of heaven becomes the great road. To a certain extent, it is actually a good thing. But greedy world tree never does good things. It doesn't intend to use its Tao consciousness to do good things. Many avenue consciousnesses gradually turned into dark consciousnesses, eventually leading to the destruction of all living beings and the collapse of the world. The greedy world tree devoured other cosmic world trees and also attracted many outsiders. At that time, all the inner cultivators in this universe had too much time to take care of themselves. Naturally, there is no time or thought to care about the purpose of outsiders. When outsiders first came in, they only said they were seeking refuge, not acting as monsters. But later they noticed the existence of the greedy world tree. It seemed that they had reached some kind of agreement with the greedy world tree, and they began to massacre the ascetics of this universe. In the end, if the Phoenix clan hadn't taken action in time, they were afraid that they would have died at the hands of outsiders long ago. The Phoenix clan dealt with the greedy world tree, but after the world tree was gone, those Tao consciousnesses became more difficult to deal with. It is impossible to directly eliminate the Tao consciousness. Otherwise those worlds will completely collapse. But the dark consciousness that has given birth to a greedy heart also has selfish motives. They're no different from the original greedy world tree. They want to control the universe. They gave themselves the vitality between heaven and earth, causing the world to be filled with death, and many ascetics in the world had to change places to survive. Nowadays, there are only a few normal Tao consciousnesses in this universe. The rest are dark consciousnesses that want to fight for control of the universe. Then what should we do? If we directly erase them, I'm afraid the world will completely collapse. It's one thing for a small world to be full of death. Complete destruction is another. It's really impossible to stop these dark consciousnesses first. We can only die with them. No matter what, we can't let them hurt little friend Fang. I'm just afraid, let's stop him. The madness of the dark consciousness is far beyond our imagination. If it doesn't work, we can only let the main body come forward. They are all separate consciousnesses. What is common with the consciousness of the ontology is that it can naturally make decisions for the ontology. I watched the Phoenix clan save us back then. Now that we have become stronger, we should stand in front of the younger ones of the Fang clan. Yes, it's time for us to do our best. We must not let the younger ones of the Phoenix clan get hurt in front of our eyes. Of course Fang Qingran sensed the imminent Tao consciousness. The small black cloud transformed by the Juxuan spirit fell on Fang Qinggran's other shoulder, and his attitude was too polite. Master Fang, do you want me to deal with them? Fang Qinggran sent a message, no need for the time being. She doubted that the Juxuan spirit could feed so many dark consciousnesses. I am also afraid of alerting others. She wanted to catch them all. Master Phoenix, these dark consciousnesses actually left their own world without authorization. I'm afraid they are not ordinary consciousnesses. Juxuan spirit analyzed. Swallowing was a little unhappy when he heard the Juxuan spirit had learned his name. Swallowing deliberately sent a message, Master Phoenix, don't worry, the things above must be yours, they can't take any away. It is good. Fang Qinggran stepped onto the 999 steps. Those old monsters are all stuck on the 995th floor and cannot go up any further. The moment you enter the 999th floor, the scene in front of Fang Qinggran changed again. This time, she was no longer in a fantasy, but a viewer of the fantasy. Scene after scene alternated before her eyes. All kinds of creatures in the painting appeared between heaven and earth, and then grew rapidly. In the beginning, all kinds of creatures were of equal strength to each other, seizing survival resources and living space. In the end, the powerful creature becomes the superior, occupying 90% of the resources and using up 90% of the space. There are only 10% powerful creatures. The remaining 90% of living creatures have become the lowest level of existence. 90% of the creatures are robbing only 1% of the resources. In order to survive, they can only keep fighting. The evil of creatures breeds in every fight. And the evil produced by these 90% of creatures is less than 1/10,000th of that of 10% of creatures. It seemed that 90% of the creatures couldn't stand that kind of life and rebelled collectively. So there was a new batch of higher level creatures. There are still only 10% of the creatures at the top. This time, the methods of this 10% of creatures were even crueler and darker than those of the previous 10%. Fang Qinggran just looked at the constant replacement of higher ranking creatures and kept repeating the previous operations. In this process, the ones who have a hard time are always the 90% of creatures. During the replacement of these high-ranking creatures, there were one or two exceptions, which made life much easier for 90% of the creatures. But this won't last long. Dongji's words suddenly came to Fang Qinggran's mind. One thought of a person in power can really determine the life or death of countless living beings, so those in power need to have kind thoughts, but those in power with kind thoughts often cannot exist for a long time. There is never anything wrong with being kind. The existence of evil cannot be erased. Fang Qinggran looked at the video and was slightly distracted. It was always very difficult to protect the common people. After all, there are too few things that can be changed by oneself. Of course, it may be that it is still not strong enough. Fang Qinggran understood that if she wanted to talk about protecting the common people, she was not qualified now. After a while, those images finally disappeared. Fang Qinggran's eyes changed again, and she returned to the 999 steps. However, what was originally only one step now stretches upwards infinitely, with no end or hope in sight. Master Phoenix, oh no, we seem to have triggered a strange law, and you seem to have to climb into the sky. What should I do? Fang Qinggran turned around and found that the old monsters were still there. They encouraged, little fellow Taoist, go up quickly. As long as you continue, you will definitely succeed. That's right, little fellow Taoist, come on, we all have high hopes for you. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 15:11 Infinitely Extending Stairs. Fang Qinggran listened to the encouragement in her ears, confirmed that she had left the illusion, and looked at the infinitely extending steps with deep eyes. Master Phoenix, please wait here for a while, I'll go up and have a look. After saying this, Swallow floated up. Juxuan spirit also wants to give it a try. It can fly, but it can't climb up the stairs like Devour. The spirit of Juxuan is unbelievable. Fang Qinggran noticed the movements of the Juxuan spirit and said via voice transmission, is there something limiting your power? Juxuan spirit was puzzled and said, Phoenix Master, I don't know, but I just can't fly up over the barrier. It's strange, this is the first time I have encountered a law that restricts me. It has sought its corresponding law before. Unfortunately, it has searched countless universes and still cannot find the law that corresponds to it. It can only differentiate various forces and want to establish contact with the universe. In the end, only the power of witchcraft allowed the witch clan to practice. Therefore, it has cause and effect with the world and survives. However, it does not need the power of witchcraft to exist now. He didn't care about Fang Qinggran's action of taking back the origin of witchcraft. Everything in the world pays attention to the method of mutual generation and mutual restraint. It was completely a coincidence that it had stayed through the power of witchcraft before. If it wants to become an upright force, it cannot stay outside the rules and must find the corresponding rules. That is, the power that limits its existence. At this moment, Juxuan spirit really wants to know, what are the rules that restrict it? It's a bit curious and a bit surprising. We'll find out when we get up there, Fang Qinggran said via voice message. Juxuan can no longer be regarded as pure 9 yin and 9 yang energy. He also has the power of the stars. The formation process of star power is extremely mysterious. It is a kind of power that can exist in the void by combining the power of extreme yin and yang using the method of Tai Chi Bagua diagram. If the power of the stars can be used during the deduction, the backlash can be minimized and the deduction results can be made more accurate. The power of witchcraft is inherently connected to the 9 mysteries, and it naturally also contains the power of the stars. Therefore, the witch clan likes to practice and use the power of witchcraft. Where the law fragments exist, there should be things left by the witch clan, so she suspects that the power to restrain Juxuan is not necessarily the power of the law. The old monsters below can see the phantoms of Devour and Juxuan, but they could feel their presence. A grey-haired old man sent a message, little friend Fang, are you afraid? Why haven't you come up yet? We have no way to follow him, otherwise we will definitely be able to help little friend Fang. Tell me, what did little friend Fang see on the 999th floor? Why did the steps suddenly extend infinitely? This should be a test for Fang Qingbran. The power of the law is unpredictable. Ha ha ha, those dark consciousnesses seem to be more anxious. I can also sense their violent aura. But are you not in a hurry? Originally, as long as little friend Fang took another step, they would be able to rush out and grab the treasure. But now, ha ha ha, it has been extended indefinitely. Even dark consciousness can be unscrupulous and not obey the rules of the world. But when they leave this world and go to other worlds, they always consume strength. What's more, they have to be away for a long time, which will inevitably cause huge losses. If there were still boundary trees in the universe, these dark consciousnesses would not dare to act recklessly, nor would they dare to compete with the ascetics for opportunities. Well, they suffered a lot, and little friend Fang is not much better off either. If this continues, it will waste little friend Fang's time. There is nothing wrong with the benefits of steps, but you can't see the end of these steps, and you don't know when you will reach the top. It would be terrible if it disturbed Xiaoyu Fang's Taoist mind. Hey, there's nothing we can do, we can only watch. Have you forgotten one thing? Whenever a strange treasure is born, it will attract snoops, and some of the breath in the universe will also be leaked. There are no intruders yet. It must be those dark consciousnesses who want the treasure and deliberately block the secret. But if they continue to wait, I'm afraid they won't have the patience. Are you worried that the dark consciousness will let outsiders in? They're not the true consciousness of the universe. They have no intention of protecting living beings at all. They only have greed and selfish desires. Besides, don't they do enough of this kind of thing? These dark consciousnesses act entirely on instinct. They look like living beings and have the emotions and desires of living beings, but they're not as complicated as living beings. Their evil is pure, without any scruples, and they won't hide anything. Just like when they want the power of the world, they directly create disasters and cause death to all living beings. The world where dark consciousness exists is basically full of death energy. Only a few living creatures can exist on it. They have always suspected that their inability to break through the Taoist realm was due to these dark consciousnesses. Master Fang, I can't find the steps I saw before. The top is blank. What should I do? Swallowed's anxious voice entered Fang Qingbran's sea of consciousness. Devourer is about to cry. The duck that reached its mouth just flew away. It clearly saw the fragments of the law and was sure of it. They're all gone now. What if the Phoenix Master misunderstands that it is playing tricks on her? Swallow, you come back first, Fang Qingbran said. Swallowing quickly returned to Fang Qingbran and said even more frustrated, Master Fang, what should we do? Do we want to continue going up? There is nothing at all up there. There was a little more anger in Swallow's tone. How dare you deceive it? Fang Qingbran picked up the fried little dumpling and squeezed it. Swallow, don't worry. Didn't you say before that there is no way out after mountains and rivers, and there is a bright future in another village? Duke Xuan's spirit also echoed, Master Phoenix is right, we can definitely find those fragments. Fang Qingbran noticed the change in Duke Xuan's title. Her eyes flashed slightly, and a smile appeared on her face. She put Swallow on her shoulder and said, go up. Fang Qingbran stepped onto the steps with firm steps. She encountered no more illusions. Time flies. Fang Qingbran was not sure how many steps she had climbed. Along the way, she never stopped, nor did she have any resentment. She just kept going up and up again. Her mother had already paved the way for her. How could she give up halfway? Fang Qingbran was not sure how much time had passed. She could still only see the infinitely extending steps, which seemed to have no end. Master Phoenix, there's no end in sight to these steps, why don't we give up? Yan Yan finally lost his temper and said. Zhu Xuan did not go against Swallow this time. It also cautiously advised, Phoenix Master, 100 years have passed and we have been going up, but the steps are still extending. I suspect that those law fragments are fake. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 15:12 Get all the fragments. For a monk, 100 years is nothing. But there is absolutely no need to spend 100 years in a place where there is no hope. It even feels like it's lingering in place. Even if it knew that Fang Qingbran was always going up. Because Fang Qingbran is getting farther and farther away from those old monsters. However, the number of steps did not decrease at all, but instead seemed to increase. It even doubted in the middle, had everyone fallen into an illusion together? If not, why would there be such a ridiculous test? It doesn't give any hope or guidance at all. Fang Qingbran still looked calm, it doesn't matter, there will always be an end. Time is endless, and sometimes, as long as you move forward, you can find what you want. As soon as Fang Qingbran said these words, the scene in front of her suddenly changed. All the steps quickly collapsed and finally disappeared. She fell into a space and saw the round platform of law fragments that Swallowed said. There are 12 stone pillars around it. These stone pillars are carved with various strange patterns and animals. Master Phoenix, this is right here. Look, the ground is full of debris, Swallow said in surprise. It turned out to be a dislocated space, so what I saw was all fiction. Duke Xuan began to look for fragments of laws to restrain it. Fang Qingbran looked around and looked at the ground. There were many broken pieces of iron embedded in the stones, which were very conspicuous and a bit strange. Fang Qingbran waved his wrist, and the law command order appeared. But the strange thing is that the token didn't take the initiative to absorb the fragments. Instead, it clung to Fang Qingbran and seemed to be trembling. Fang Qingbran thought about it and looked at the 12 stone pillars with cold eyes. These things left by the witch clan should be to restrain the fragments of the law. The law command may be afraid of them. She took back the law control order and replaced it with the staff of Quan Chong. Master Phoenix, these stone pillars contain the source of witchcraft. They were the ones restraining me just now. How could this happen? Duke Xuan said. There are not many sources of witchcraft in the first place. The Wu clan was really willing to use 12 of them at once. The 12 god-slaying formations failed to fully activate. It seems that if you want to get these fragments, you need to destroy the formation first. The power contained in the law control order is extremely terrifying, enough to easily destroy the 12 god-killing formations. The thing it's afraid of shouldn't be the god-killing formation. Fang Qingran checked carefully again and found nothing unusual. Swallow, Duke Xuan, can you feel fear? Devouring confusion, horror. No, I just feel like I'm about to sublimate at this moment. Duke Xuan paused for a moment. Master Phoenix, I didn't feel fear, I just vaguely felt oppression. It was these stone pillars that combined to suppress me. Fang Qingran's eyes were restrained after hearing this. Since you can't find it, let's not worry about it for now. Fang Qingran used the power of the totem to destroy 12 giant pillars. The 12 god-killing formations were completely abolished and could not be activated. Then 12 black shadows rushed toward her. Duke Xuan took the lead and swallowed up 12 black shadows in a few breaths. After Duke Xuan finished swallowing it, he said happily, Master Phoenix, this is the origin of witchcraft. I feel that I have become stronger again. The power that restrained me has also disappeared. After hearing this, Fang Qingran made sure that the Wu clan didn't leave anything else behind, and then let the law control order come out. It was still hesitant and did not dare to directly attack the law fragments. What are you afraid of? Fang Qingran asked doubtfully. The law command order can only express his fearful thoughts, and there is no way to say the rest. Fang Qingran's almond-shaped eyes moved slightly, as if she had thought of something, and showed a different light. It's okay, you can just go, there won't be any danger. Finally, the law control order can resist the temptation of power and flew into the air, emitting a gleaming light. The majestic and vast power of law surges from the round platform to the law command order. Fang Qingran raised his hand and let Jushuan swallow back to the sea of consciousness. Next, it's time to truly test human nature. If those cultivators preserved by the ancestors of the Phoenix clan can really resist the temptation, she will give them a great opportunity. The law control order continuously absorbs the power of the law. The originally slightly dim token now has some luster. There seem to be a few more traces on it, like ancient inscriptions or unfinished runes. Fang Qingran couldn't figure out what it was at the moment. I just felt that after taking a few glances, the Tao tree in the sea of consciousness had actually grown a lot. But she didn't dare to keep staring at the law command order. Her sea of consciousness was not strong enough to withstand the power of the law command order. Fang Qingran opened the eye of nothingness and looked around in the space. Dark avenues will appear, and those who want to fight for them are never law fragments. What they want is the origin of Hongmeng. Only Hongmeng origin can make the Dark Avenue crazy. Of course, Dark Avenue is definitely not the only one who can be crazy about Hongmeng origin. Fang Qingran searched for it but found nothing. But she has a feeling that the origin of Hongmeng is here. The law control order quickly absorbed and completed those laws and returned to Fang Qingran. Ying ying ying. The tender voice of a child sounded in Fang Qingran's consciousness. Fang Qingran looked at the law command order in front of her and said uncertainly, the sound just now was made by you. Yes, master. Hearing this voice, Fang Qingran couldn't help but think of the cute little baby. Still a girl doll. It's even more pleasing. Fang Qingran's eyes softened a bit and she asked softly, what were you afraid of just now? Master, I feel that there is something more powerful than the law here, and I'm worried that it will eat me. Don't be afraid, it won't hurt you. What are those laws you swallowed? Fang Qingran asked slightly curiously. Return to the master, there will be disaster, catastrophe, bad luck, illness, badness, disability, number, change, trick, hope, reversal, good fortune. Fang Qingran felt confused after listening to a long list of strange rules. It turns out that there are so many laws in the world. No wonder there must be laws governing orders, otherwise some laws may be completely forgotten. To the end of the law control order, his voice seemed a little tired. It wasn't that he was really tired, but it was just too much. This time, it absorbed hundreds of laws at once. Otherwise, it would not be able to awaken part of its consciousness, let alone communicate with Fang Qingran. Master, many of these laws are mutually exclusive. The one who gathered these fragments here probably spent a lot of effort. It did take a lot of effort. Fang Qingran raised the corners of her lips and smiled. The Wu clan probably didn't expect that these laws would change so much when they came together, causing their plan to fail. She actually wanted to thank the Wu clan. If these laws are separated, they can be easily obtained by other practitioners, but when they exist together, it is very difficult to obtain them. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 1513 The Law of Hope, additional update. Master, I actually hope that the law is condensed from these laws, not from the fragments of the law. After hearing this, Fang Qingran looked at the law control order with slight confusion. Can the law condense new laws? The law control order explained obediently. Yes, master, hope is one of the unique laws between heaven and earth. It is an invisible law. Hope cannot be controlled by any living being, but every living being can possess the power of the law of hope. When I first gave birth to consciousness, there was no power of the law of hope in the space. At that time, the god of power was surprised to find that she could not find the controller of the law of hope. But in all the impressions of the chaos demon god, hope seems to exist all the time. They all felt that they had seen the god of hope, but when they were asked to look for it, they couldn't find it. So, the god of power and the demon took me to walk between heaven and earth, looking for the law of hope. It was at that time that I slowly gained consciousness. When the god of power and the demon were looking for the law of hope, they saw all kinds of disasters in the universe and the struggles of living beings, and they frequently took action to save those with good intentions. After that, the god of power discovered that she had captured the power of the law of hope, but not much, just a little. However, the more people the god of power saves, the more hope and power she gains. And the power of hope can restrain all the forces of darkness. Everyone in the world thinks that the best way to fight darkness is to create light. In fact, this is not the case. The power of heaven and earth must be balanced. When the light is too bright, it will breed more and more destructive darkness. The darkness will never end. No living being can always be under the light. Darkness will always come. When darkness comes, you can fight against darkness with the power of hope. After the god of power controlled the power of hope, he still could not understand the secret of the law of hope and could not integrate this power into the law of control order. It wasn't until later that the god of power gathered all the laws related to catastrophes, and suddenly discovered that the law of hope itself appeared in the law control order. It turns out that when all kinds of bad things happen one after another, hope will appear. Master, in fact, the first 999 steps are a test for you by other laws, and the last step is a test given by hope. In these 100 years, you have been on the last step. If you even have the slightest thought of giving up, the steps will extend infinitely, and you will never see the end, and you will not be able to get these fragments. But fortunately, the Master is very powerful and never thought of giving up from the beginning to the end. The law control order seems to be very happy. It didn't expect to get the law of hope so soon. You know, during the period of chaos, it was the last one to get the law of hope. As long as the law of hope exists, many dark laws will be very well behaved. Really, Fang Qingran raised his hand and held the law control order. His consciousness penetrated into its space, and many water droplets appeared in the vast space. Fang Qingran's consciousness swept over these small water droplets and felt the various powers within them, but could not find the law of hope. Master, the law of hope is invisible and there is no way to detect it, but you can feel it. Hope will give you a mysterious feeling. It seems to be able to push you into the abyss and make you go straight to the sky. It also doesn't understand why the power of hope is like this. All I know is that hope is the brightest force in desperate situations. Fang Qingran felt it according to the commanding consciousness. Suddenly, she was plunged into darkness and lost consciousness. When Fang Qingran woke up again, she felt that her head was blank, the bone-chilling coldness spread to her limbs, her whole body was in unbearable pain, and the fear of death spread to her soul. She wanted to open her eyes and see the situation at this moment, but she didn't even have the strength to do so. She felt as if she was going to die. Why did she end up in this situation? Finally she struggled to open her eyes and caught a ray of light. The next moment, all the coldness disappeared, warm power surged into the body, and the pain disappeared. Fang Qingran suddenly panicked, broke away from the darkness, and her memory returned. Master, what happened to you just now? The anxious voice of the controlling consciousness sounded. Fang Qingran remembered the experience just now and whispered, I'm fine. Hope can only be experienced when you fall into despair. It always feels like something is not quite right. Fang Qingran couldn't explain clearly the origin of the strange feeling. I'm not going to go into detail about this just yet. After all, according to the law control order, the law of hope is a very important law. Fang Qingran put away the law command order. It also blocked the void space and blocked all consciousness in the sea of consciousness. After doing all this, Fang Qingran said with a smile, come out, I'm the only one here. There was silence. Fang Qingran smiled and called, Red Immortal. A red cloud emerged and came to Fang Qingran. Fang Qingran raised her hand and touched it with joy in her eyes, Hongxian, long time no see. He, long time no see, Hongxian said with a silly smile. When I met Ancestor Kangyun before, my whereabouts were always exposed. Are you following me? Hongxian whispered, Ranran, I'm sorry, I was following you, but I didn't dare to say hello to you. Fang Qingran smiled and said, it's okay, Hongxian, is Master Zun still alive? The red fairy turned blue instantly, and small raindrops fell out, he. I don't know. Hongxian cried very sadly. Fang Qingran placed the red fairy in the palm of her hand, her eyes complicated, how did you get here? Hongxian twitched and said, the ancestor of the Xunyuan family gave his friend a Yukyong tower, so I hid me in a pillar and added a seal to me. I can't get out at all. I stayed in that pillar until the building was destroyed and I didn't come out. He has placed restrictions on his body, and those avenues cannot detect my existence. However, I cannot leave this world, I can only stay here. Before I left, he told me that there was going to be a disaster on the mainland and I couldn't stay. He also gave me something and asked me to hide it and hand it to you personally. He said he hoped this thing could help you. After Hongxian finished speaking, he pulled himself up from his little cloud. After a long time, it took out a red fruit. The aura emanating from the fruit made the entire space begin to tremble. Fang Qingran felt the strong Hongmeng aura above, and her eyes were shocked. This is the origin of Hongmeng. I have been saving it and slowly shaping it into this. I feel you will definitely like it. The red fairy turned red again. At this moment, the turmoil in the space became even more severe. It was obvious that something was attacking here from outside. Junior sister, we really can't roll anymore. Chapter 1514 transformed into spiritual roots, golden ticket 2. Fang Qingran looked serious, picked up the fruit, and led Hongxian into the void space. The aura of Hongmeng's origin must have leaked out. She could only enter the void space first. She never thought that Hongxian was so capable that he could even crush the source of Hongmeng into a fruit. After entering the space, Fang Qingran immediately came to the Hongmeng tree. Before she entered the space, she had already created a separate area beside the Hongmeng tree. In this way, the aura of Hongmeng's origin will only spread within the field. When Hongxian noticed the existence of the Hongmeng tree, she immediately became happy and ran to the Hongmeng tree to play. It knew that Fang Qingran was about to start practicing. It just plays by itself without disturbing her. Fang Qingran saw that Hongxian had a place to play, and her eyes fell on the origin of Hongmeng. Could it be that when Taoist Master went to Kangshuan continent, what he wanted to find was the origin of Hongmeng? The origin of Hongmeng cannot be deduced. How did the Taoist Master know that Kangshuan continent has the origin of Hongmeng? Fang Qingran glanced at the Hongmeng tree. She wanted to wait for Hongmeng to wake up before refining the origin of Hongmeng. Now is not the best time to refine the origin of Hongmeng. Red Fairy. Hongxian came to Fang Qingran in an instant. Hongxian, can you save it for me? Fang Qingran asked. Okay. Hongxian picked up the fruit and hid it in the clouds. In an instant, Hongmeng's original aura disappeared completely. Fang Qingran patted Hongxian and said, you go and play first. I'll introduce you to my friends later. Yeah, Hongxian was very obedient and returned to the Hongmeng tree. Of course she can preserve Hongmeng's origins by herself. But when Hongxian hid the origin of Hongmeng before, he didn't leak any aura. It must be the master who left the special restriction. She always felt that it would be safer to leave this thing with Hongxian. Fang Qingran flipped her wrist, and Hongmeng's demonic energy appeared in her palm. Maybe she should try refining this first. Outside space. The moment Hongxian took out the source of Hongmeng, all the dark consciousness was mobilized. They did not hesitate to expose themselves and attack the void. After Fang Qingran stepped onto a special step, the rest of the steps collapsed. The power that imprisoned the old monster has also disappeared. The old monsters instantly returned to their immortal appearance. Where's little friend Fang? I can't find little friend Fang's aura. Has she found the treasure and inherited it? It should be like this. It's safer to get the treasure this way. I want to see how those dark consciousnesses can cause trouble. Wait, have you sensed a unique aura, which seems to be the power of Hongmeng? How is it possible? The power of Hongmeng has long since dissipated. No, it's the aura of Hongmeng. Are these dark consciousnesses coming from the origin of Hongmeng? There are various emotions in the eyes of the old monsters, including entanglement, worry, greed, and doubt. While they were still thinking, dark consciousnesses appeared one after another and attacked the void. Did they discover the location of the Hongmeng power? Is little friend Fang right there? Then the power of Hongmeng is in Xiao Yufang's hands. No matter whose hands it is, it cannot fall into the hands of dark consciousness. We cannot let them attack the void. Do we have to deal with them? An old monster hesitated. If they use all their strength to deal with the Dark Avenue, what will be their situation next? There is no time to deal with them. The breath of the power of Hongmeng will probably attract many outsiders. If we deal with them, the outsiders will only reap the benefits. Damn outsiders, why do you want everything? Outsiders are not scary, I'm just afraid that the strong ones in this universe will eat them up. There will never be a shortage of traitors at any time. And being stabbed in the back by one of your own is the most painful. While many old monsters were thinking, a terrifying pressure spread. They all looked towards an old man. Even though the old man was hunched over, his aura was still frightening. He said in a majestic voice, no matter what, we must protect little friend Fang. She is of the blood of the Phoenix clan, and nothing can happen to her. I know that the power of Hongmeng is also rare for you and me. No one wants to give up this opportunity. But you have to remember, why were we able to survive back then? Without the Phoenix clan, we wouldn't be who we are today.